Go live a couple minutes early. Just get this show on the road a little bit. Let YouTube catch up. So y'all stop staring at a white screen with the little YouTube logo. Live a couple minutes early. Hey, let's go. Sounds fine. Dude, look at this. Look at this little art. YouTube didn't like it for some reason. They're just sitting here like, nah, dude. White screen with little gray box. That art is too provocative. It's too explicit. Greenskins and vampire counts on a bike together? It's gross. It's not the kind of content we want on our platform. Take it down. Discord 2 is also being silly, where it's just doing my default art that it always does. Artorias versus Queek. Nobody is ready for the glory of greenskins on a tandem bike, I guess. What kind of world are we living in? Okie dokie. Hello, Silla Zocht. I hope I got that remotely close to right. I've not seen you around before. Welcome. Welcome. It is good to have you. How is everybody? We are casting, not hosting. Queden's hosting it. Casting another one of Queden's tournaments, 2v2s. Does them a lot. He's ending Warhammer 2 with a bang. And we're here. It looks like there's 8 teams today. I'm not playing just yet. I played in the other ones, but with 2v2 specifically, it takes a lot of brain power to try and coordinate with somebody and also be casting at the same time. So it's just easier if I don't play. Also, I have no friends who wanted to play with me, so that's fine. I just cry a little bit. We have Queden himself and Grumpy Guard, Evenstar and Ulrich Rahl, Paragon Penguin, which I'm guessing is Blood Penguin and somebody else, Captain Melons, which I'm guessing is Captain Melons and somebody else. Alfarius 1 is probably some of the Alfarius gang thrown together. There's like 4 Alfariuses out there on Discord right now, because Artisan Tech Priest and some of his friends are filthy memers. We have Geese Howard and Way, we have Swarv and Blank, and we have VM Berserk and Blank. Cool. If Swarv is paired with Evenstar again, I mean not Evenstar, Voidlals, I know he's paired with him before. If it's Swarv and Voidlals versus Ulrich and Evenstar, I think those are 2 heavy favorites to win the tournament. If Swarv is paired with somebody besides Void, I think Evenstar and Ulrich are favorites to win this thing. Would be my guess. But we'll see. Bracket will go live in about 2 more minutes. But yeah. No real bit about it, just a 2v2 straight up. Beat the other guy. Win. Huzzah. $40 cash prize. Etc. There's a couple little differences for 2v2, but it's basically just fruit rules. 3 SE per player, 2 SEM. 6 per team, though. So that's fine. Artillery is ranged, just a little limited. 1 more dissension effect per team. It's mostly the same. Yes. Yep. Is Zocht means something like gaming. You're new to PvP, I hope I learned something by watching this. Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, nobody tell him that we're a bunch of sillies. Just silas. Gotcha. Yeah, we do a lot of PvP on this channel. A lot. Though I haven't done nearly as many, like, I play 7 hours of PvP as I would like to, but real life work got busy. I'm waiting for my fucking tea to cool down. Oh, it's hot. It's too hot. Don't drink that. Oh, maybe a little bit. Ow, it burns. Never mind. Delicious. 1 more minute. As for channel news, there's a lot. Where to even start? We have the last RLC qualifier tomorrow. Your win rate is 1-6. What factions do you play, my dude? We have the RLC tomorrow, which is much more 1v1 serious stuff. It's the last qualifier before the playoffs, which are next weekend, not this weekend. I don't have a lot of streams scheduled next week. I'll probably throw a couple random ones in there. We have a lot of videos to get out. Oh. If you've been hanging around my channel, dude, there's a lot of new videos you should watch. Like, there's a series called Players Uncovered where I talk about new players in the community. And if you're new to the multiplayer community, you may not give a shit who those players are. And that's fine. But you should probably watch them because I talk about what they do well and what they do poorly, which could be nice if you're trying to learn multiplayer, where if you're like, you know, I say this guy does cav engagements well, and you're like, well, how do you do a cav engagement well? You can watch what I talk about on there, and it'll be helpful. Hi, Elves. If you see a guy named Knighthood in the chat today, you should talk to him. He's a quick battle high elf crusader. Fucking Chad. Everybody starts in campaign, dude. It's where you get good before you go online. It's a good time. I played campaign, Total War Warhammer 1, and then 2 I started playing a little bit of multiplayer. And then I got serious into it around a year and a half ago. The campaign's sick. Campaign is sick. I turned into a Skaven main over time. Okay. I'll make the blocker a little smaller just to show people we are waiting. Tournament should be starting. Queden's typing something in announcements, so I'm pretty sure he's about to say tournament's up and whatnot. Let's go see if that... Hey, Call HR, what up, dude? Call HR, I was just talking about your video I released this morning of that player spotlight. Call HR is the person I was talking about today. So, ooh, okay. We are finalized. We lost somebody. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who that was that we lost. But even Star and Ulrich's still here. Swarv's still here, and he's just Swarv. So let's do... We're live, go play. Okay, find your opponent. Let's do... Oh, it's Swarv plus Tank. They've been a team before. Captain Melon's and Raced. Blood Penguin and Paragon Dova. Okay. Let's spectate Penguin. He's a G. Can I spectate your game? I haven't gotten to see a lot of Captain Melon's play either, so that'll be exciting. I've played with Raced a few times. He's one of those guys that on Anticity Ladder is ranked bronze, but doesn't deserve that, if you know what I mean. But it's like, I don't know. Because if you don't know what we're talking about, Quick Battle Ladder is one thing, and then there's a thing called Anticity Ladder where a lot of tournament players go and play. So being bronze on Anticity Ladder kind of sucks, because it feels bad to be labeled as bronze, but like you're playing with the best players that exist. So... Yeah, Race is pretty good. If he wanted a quick battle, I'd imagine he'd win like 80% of his games. Queden, we're live. Nice. Nice. What am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm waiting for Blood Penguin. Okay, he's not online at the moment. I'll see if he's just got a lobby up. Blood Penguin's a Chad and a very nice soul. But sometimes their Discord can be a little quiet. Geeseway versus Berserk. I could go spectate that. I'll give Blood Penguin another second. Your main races are High Elves and draws in campaign. I think Dwarves, yeah. HR, you're already famous. You handsome devil. I'll give it about 10 more seconds before we join. Oh, Raced is typing. Raced. Let me in. High Elves is a tough faction, though. If you're trying to learn quick battle stuff, High Elves aren't very forgiving because all your units are really expensive. Where is... Race said he has lobby up. I'll find that. But anyway, yeah, High Elves are expensive, so if you lose any units, it feels bad. I learned online playing Greenskins and Skaven, so then it's like, oh, I fucked up with a Skaven slave. Okay. Who cares? It's 150 gold. At the time, it was actually 125, which is nuts. Is it 2v2 tourney? Which one is it? Okay, sorry, just coordinating some stuff. Aha! Spec slots, please. We have found our game. It is just called 2v2 tourney. Is the blocker still up? A little bit. Ah! Ah! Stop doing that. Grab the... There you go. Boom. Howdy, gents. How we doing today? We will go with... Captain Melons just signed up as Captain Melons, and that's an uninspiring name. So we will go with... Captain Raced. On the other side, we have Blood Penguin and somebody. You've been dodging me. Okay. Yo, yo. Rusty's here. Hey, Rusty. Your biggest problem is that I always get flanked by Cav, losing my backline and getting wiped because I always do the same mistakes, like getting my protected units from the backline to the front line. That is hard. The biggest thing I will say about that is guard mode. If you put your archers on guard mode, they will obey attack commands. So it's like, if you tell them to attack something that's out of their range, they will walk up till it's in range and start shooting. And if that thing moves out of their range and they have guard mode on, they'll stand around and wait for you to tell them to attack something else, which sounds stupid, but it is important, like you just said, where if your archers are shooting at some cav and the cav run away from the archers, your archers are just going to follow them like dumbasses and walk in front of your line. So, what's happening, my peeps? A church is on fire up the road, and I'm taking it as a sign to play Warriors of Chaos. I hope everyone's okay. But that is kind of funny that you're going to go play Chaos with it. I have a ping in the Spanish server. What's going on? Torneo Español per Liga. Okay. I don't know what that is. Alright, it's a Spanish tournament. I'm not involved. My hands are off this scenario. Where's Blood Penguin? Oh, they do have a team name I could write. Paragon Penguin. Paragon Penguin. I feel like... Oh, okay. Alright, so this was a big secret. But now since we're sitting around like dumbasses, I might as well fill the time to talk about it. I have an exciting event lined up for Warhammer 3 that I'm very excited to talk about while we wait for Blood Penguin. So, we don't have... Oh, Delmo's here. Delmo's perfect. You use guard mode. Oh, okay, good. That is good. You like to play defensive and play a big defense line, let the enemy walk to me. Why are you playing High Elves? Play Skaven. Skaven's all about letting them walk to you and die. And just giving it to the attack order. Further chase that to first target. Yeah. With the delay, I like that I rant about guard mode and he already knows what it is. Anyway, event thing. Well, we'll wait to figure out where Blood Penguin is. I want to set up... And scheduling's going to be tricky, but I want to set up like a league, a clan league, where you play best of threes, and it's like... So let's say we have... It's hard to explain without a visual. But if you have 10 clans, you do like a round robin. So every week it'd be like RTK plays VM, and then the next week it'd be like RTK plays ODM or something like that. You know, so if you had 10 teams, there'd be 5 best of threes a week. And it's like you fill the best of 3 with different people. So again, talking about RTK, because I know their players the best, it'd be like, you know, round 1, it's RTK's pick 2, ban 0. And they like... Killing Smalls is pick 2. They just think he has a really strong one. So they're going to put him there. And then the second one where there's a counter pick, it'd be like, oh, we want Bob Tresh there because he's really good at like counter picking with Lizardman or something. And then if it gets to game 3, we'll have Satsuma there because he's good on so many factions, that kind of thing. And then it would reveal what like VM or ODM or XMT's 3 was. Like you would blind pick what people are going to go in what slots before you know who your opponent is. And then every week you would run that. You don't have to send different people each time. It's just like which 3 people are you sending this week and what spots. And then the best of 3s get scores. So it's like, you know, if you win out of the season, if there's 9 enemy teams, there's 9 possible points. If you go like 6-3, playoffs would be the top 6 teams out of 10. So the bottom 4 scorers would get knocked out. And then you'd enter playoffs. Playoffs would be best of 5, but the same format where it's like now you need 5 players from that clan and you slot them blindly into the best of 5. And that kind of thing. And then it goes to the finals, and finals like best of 7 for like $1,000 or something. I don't know. But I think it'd be fun because Warhammer lacks events where you need to give a crap from week to week. You know? Where there are a lot of cool events, but they're always one shot. You know, like I sit down for this thing, beginning and end, and that's it. And I kind of wanted to start something in Warhammer 3 where it's like much more... You know, you get excited about it over the course of the week, and you're like, oh man, that thing is coming, and like, ODM had a tough week last week, but this week they're going to come back, or like, let's say, Clan XMT is already knocked out, but they have a game against VM, and if they take this game against VM, that'll push VM to 3rd instead of 2nd, and that'll get them, lose them their bye round and stuff. It's just kind of like, I feel like Warhammer lacks the horse race component of a lot of other esports, so that'll be fun. Plus you can make doom stacks. Doom stacks are hype. Okay, 2v2 tourney. Blood Penguin is online. I'm just gonna invite him. Plague Penguin, invite to lobby. I invited Blood. He's on his way. You don't box in quick battle, you do that in campaign. Quick battle, you try to play smart, because I'm boxed in the beginning and just get my army wiped by wind spells. Yes. You want more tabletop style rules where you have one army and it doesn't change for however many matches? Or maybe you get 3 armies you can't play till you can play till you lose all 3. Oh, that's a cool idea, Doomsage. Some other people have run a couple tabletop tournaments, but not that 3 armies and then you lose all 3 thing. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I have a blocker up, right? Okay, because these guys got straight into picking their stuff. Hello, the map is Oakenhammer? Correct. Oakenhammer's much bigger than Glacial Lake. So what factions are these guys running? Let's see. We are, in fact, going to have Beastman of Bretonia for Paragon Penguin versus High Elf, Dark Elf for Melons and Raced. Cursed Alliance on both sides, honestly. Delicious tea. You should invite people into lobbies. Tends to bug it out, especially in 2v2. Well, I didn't know that. Why are 2v2 lobbies so bugged? Okay. Well, it seems like he can change the map okay. And he's building his army all right. So for now, we seem okay. But I will take that into consideration. Bretonnia Beastmen versus High Elves Dark Elves. I'm going to favor Bretonnia and Beastmen because, like, Beastmen have a bad matchup into Dark Elves, a fine matchup into High Elves, and Bretonnia has a good matchup into both. So I think on the net, it goes in their favor. What kind of tea do you drink? Mostly black and green teas. Not a huge fan of, like, fruit-based teas. I'm not picky. I'll drink anything, but if it's my choice. So right now I have a black tea and a green tea. I forget what's in it. There's something in this green tea. It's not raw green. So it's like black and then green with something. Vanilla? I don't know. Possibly vanilla. I forgot what I put in there. You're betting for Captain Melons? Getting the Zoidberg vibe. Oh, Doomsage. The tournament calendar really filled up this weekend? Yeah, dude. TN hit me up to host a tournament for them next weekend, and I'm already booked. Booked solid. I'm kind of worried about that with Warhammer 3, that there's just going to be too many events all the time. Which is a good problem to have. It's just still hard to schedule anything. Green tea is good. Mint tea is really good. Though I need a boost in the morning, so I need some mildly caffeinated teas. Zoom beans are the best. I'm not a big coffee fan. Grace loves coffee. I keep trying it because I'm like, maybe today I'll like coffee. Never mind. Fuck coffee. High Elves are working on their build. Hopefully, we'll get going soon. I think there's like an 8-minute timer on building armies before I give them a stern warning to hurry it up, but hopefully we won't go that whole time. There's no such thing as too many events. I'm getting such anxiety about 3. Like, because I'm going to enter that game blind. I don't know a lot about it because I didn't get early access or anything, and I'm going to go in and people are going to be asking me questions like, is Nurgle any good? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know what Nurgle's units are. I don't know shit. Do you think PvP in Warhammer 2 is going to die because of Warhammer 3? Slowly, yeah. I think you'll always have a couple hangers on for a while, but I do think Warhammer 3 will take it over. Too many people will leave. But if you play at the peak hours of the day, I'm sure you'll get some people who haven't gotten 3 yet. It's not peculated coffee like that sits around in a pot all day. No, I should brews it every morning. Though I do know what you're talking about. I'm tired recently. Don't know what's going on. I haven't been sleeping super great. It's like I'll fall asleep as soon as my head hits the bed, but then the dog will wake me up at like 3 in the morning. She wants to go out, then I'll kind of fall asleep after that, and then the cat will wake me up wanting some food around 5. Kind of go back to sleep after that, but it's not as good, dude. Thanks, Harabeck. Yeah, the current stream schedule for 3, I took a week off from work to stream it. So we'll probably do a mix of campaign and online stuff. I'm hoping to stream about 10 hours a day. Anticity showed some interest in doing co-op campaigns again. Do some of those with him. Check out the domination mode. Probably host a tournament or two. It'll be good. Yeah. Also, Warhammer 3 is going to have domination mode, which will be good for quick battles, so you don't deal with any tools. Because they can't, like, draw kite you or cheese you as hard on domination. They have to come for the points. So that'd be another reason to get it, but I do think the campaign's going to be sick as fuck. You've been given a bleak impression of the States from your old man. I mean, some stuff's true, some stuff it isn't. It's also a person-to-person thing. Like, there are tools everywhere. Every country has somebody who's doing something stupid. But most people, most places are normal. Captain Melon's just laying out the strategy. That was funny. Up in the chat, he's just talking about an Arcane Phoenix. Domination quick battle. Okay, I'm buying it. Didn't know that. Yeah. Community seems to be divided on the domination mode. Well, here's the thing I'll say to the community. Is there are some streamers who have said domination mode is going to be the only way, and it's going to be all the tournaments and all that stuff, and it's the only tournament format that exists. They can only speak for themselves. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Land battles will be everywhere. Because, like, I'm going to host land battle tournaments and domination tournaments over the course of it, just because I like variety. So, I don't know. If people are worried about land battles going away, they're not. I got you, at least. And I'm sure other people will, too. Domination mode, unless it's literally perfect, which nothing ever is, it'll come in hot, and then people will kind of cool off on it, and it'll be like, well, this is neat, but I missed this, or this is neat, but I missed this, and yeah. I'm sure both game modes will get a lot of play. I do wish there was a normal quick battle ladder for land battles, too, like you could check a box between which one you want to play, but it's fine. I mean, and, like, Anticity Ladder exists in Warhammer 2 because the quick battle system was so inefficient in Warhammer 2 for, like, consistent, serious play. So you have an experience in this community of making, like, we want this thing, and it doesn't exist in the game. Well, we'll just make it. So if people are up in arms about CA not having land battles ready, sorry. We've done it before. We've made our own ladder before, and I wouldn't worry about it. They haven't taken the function out of the game to play. Sorry. Queden just messaged me to do what I already just did. That's funny. Anyway, my point is they haven't taken the ability out of the game to play land battles, so we can play land battles. It'll be fine. From what I've seen, everyone who's played Domination likes it, so I'm hoping everyone will be happy once they get to try it for themselves. Indeed. The only pushback I've given at all about Domination is I don't like the talk that it's going to be the only game mode, because I don't feel the need to pigeonhole or stuff like that. I hope siege battles are sick. Like, I'm the only one who seems to give a shit about that, dude. Siege battles would be nuts. I'm looking forward to hosting some siege battle events. Ugh. Like, one thing I've wanted to do is, I used to do rat race speedruns. People don't remember that because my channel is really small, but I really liked those. And one thing I want to do with the siege battles was, like, I pick a map, and I give you an army. Like, this is the army you're going to use to defend. And then the challenge would be to see how much funds people can win against, right? So someone could, like... It's hard to describe, but... You know, like, someone's like, oh, I beat... With my 12,000 fund army you gave me, I beat this army of 50,000 funds the AI was piloting at me. Or, like, you know, Inticity, who almost always wins these fucking things, come back and be like, I capped out the number of funds, and I still beat that army. And then it's like, you know, I love that shit. And siege battles are awesome for that. It's just the siege battles in Warhammer 2 were a little too janky. So I'm really hoping 3's siege battles are fun. It's all pretty relevant to me anyhow, something of a misanthrope. By something I mean utterly down to my quarks and particle bits. Bannable, I am not muted as far as I'm known. Otherwise, everybody in this chat is really good at reading lips. Yup. Okay. So... There we go. We're all ready. I was about to poke him. You hear that Tzeentch is really unbalanced in land battles. Concern isn't that it's there, but that it'll be really unbalanced. We can make adjustments for that as well. I mean, there was the Beastmen patch where the chariots could literally kill anything and corpse carts could 1v1 a Dread Saurian, so we got through that. You can just limit things, ban things even, hot fix things. It's fine. Is it ideal? No. Have we done it before? Yep. Icky ducky. Or you're having an awesome hallucination. Yeah. Okie dokie, so we're into the game. For the Elven Alliance of Raced and Captain Melons, we have the Omen of Assyrian, Arcane Phoenix, Lion Chariots, Archers with some light armor, a couple Rangers, and some Silver and Guard as a very elite Spearman Corps. Mage of Metal on a Chariot, Final Trans, and Searing Doom. And motherfucking Tyrion, with Heart of Avalorn, Foe Seeker, Stand Your Ground, and Feint and Riposte. It's good stuff. Good stuff from the High Elves. I like it. Very elite army. Forgot you turned your truck on to thaw. The ice was playing through the Bluetooth out there while I was getting ready. Hey, Grumpy Guard. For the Dark Elves, we have Marathi, Blackguard, Dread Spears, Hellebroni, more Dread Spears, Dread Spears, Dread Spears. And then we have one Scourge on a Chariot. That's it. Okay, one Scourge on a Chariot, 2 Repeater Crossbows, and some Coldland Knights. Kind of interesting to not see the High Elves bring healing, because normally in this matchup, Dark Elves would want to capitalize on the High Elves' ability to heal their stuff. For the Beastmen Bretonnian Lions, oh god, that army is big. Look at that, 1,200 versus 2,200. Alright. For the Chaff lads, Blood Penguin brought Fae Double Paladin. Pretty standard stuff for the Mortis Engine. As for the Lord Kit of the Beastmen, we have a Brave Shaman of Wilds with Traderkin, Torx Brassbull, and a Gorebolt. Good stuff, quite standard. Tuskor Chariots. So let's start from left. Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, Defenders of Fleur-de-Lis, Knights Errant, along with some Gorel Knights. We have a bunch of Peasant Bowmen mixed in with some Best Gores, Gore Herds, Ungor Spearman Herds, and Peasant Mobs. So a mix of Chaff, medium infantry, more Chaff, elite infantry. Interesting. We have Knights of the Lionhearted, more Knights of the Realm. Kitoki, couple Senegors. I like the Knight's choice. There's one Grail Knight if you want to go elite, but otherwise just keep it cheap and chipper. Oh, no. Same thing. Yeah, no worries. Okay. Ah! Let me back in! There we go. If you hear okie dokie one more time, you might top yourself. Have I been saying it a lot? My bad. Sorry. It's been a lot of stalling. That's also just like my thing I say. If Grace wants me to go to the store and get something, then just say okie dokie. Sorry. It's my version of in the pocket. So, off to the races. Bretonnia has much better ranged assets than the Dark Elf High Elf combination. They have 2 archers with light armor and some skirmish cav to try and compete with 5 archers. So Dark Elves and High Elves have an alliance against Bretonians that fight side by side with the Beastmen. Yeah, it's a little easier for me to believe that these guys would get over their differences for a brief moment than to accept that the Beastmen and Bretonians somehow got on the same page. Like, this actually happened in the end times, as the Dark Elves figured they might as well ally with the forces of order to stop the world from ending. Bretonia and Beastmen, there's no reason for this to happen, unless they both got sick of getting kited by Wood Elves, and they said, listen, bro, let's burn down the forest together, then we can go back to killing ourselves. Good charge from the Lion Chariot's going to take out some Ungor Spearmen, but it'll get countercharged by Tuskor Chariots, and Tuskor Chariots are way worse than Lion Chariots, so I don't think anything will happen here. In fact, it's just two rubber bouncers bouncing off each other, but Gorbel and Torox will try and change that if they can get any hits onto these Lion Chariots. But Tyrion's here, along with Marathi. If Marathi dives in, could debuff Torox's stats enough that Tyrion will just body him. What was that? Oh, an overcasted Traderkin in this area. There's the Soul Stealer. I thought he Soul Stealered his own units, and I got very confused for a second. Bretonian's taking a knight around a long flank, and there's not anything to stop them here. And these Coldwood Knights need to go get active very quickly, otherwise this could get bad. Especially if all this skirmish cav and archers right here are surrounded and killed by Knights Errant. That would be very, very, very bad. For the High Elves, this blob fight's going actually pretty well. They lost their Lion Chariot, which sucks, but, you know, Gorbel's down to half, Torox is taking a bit of a beating. And now the Phoenix and Marathi are both ganging up on the Fey Enchantress, bringing her low. A Paladin's actually about to rout, maybe even terror rout. He and the Gorbel are both terror routing, and a different Paladin's about to get bodied. Yeah, Tyrion is just a big old stat stick at the moment, and he's getting buffed up by Manticores. And Marathi's not near enough to actually debuff Torox. She'll want to get a little closer. Looks like that's a Chalice of Potions that was very ambitious, but now with Black Guard coming to help out, this is going to get very, very sticky quickly. If Tyrion can hit the Fey Enchantress, he'll actually like two-shot her, so want to be careful of that. Bretonnia Knights did try to move in, but now the Cold One Knights are countercharging as we expected. Bretonnia Knights will actually trade up into Cold One Knights, but still okay. They're anti-large armor piercing cav, they'll do okay. Torox is pulled away, but the Fey Enchantress is left behind for Blood Penguin. He does smartly get away, pulling through the back line rather than trying to push through all this Black Guard, and he wraps around. Fey Enchantress obviously has some healing, so she can heal up after this ordeal, and she'll be okay. That was spooky, or as Rusty would say, she is not okie dokie. Repeater Crossbow's taking out a bunch of Bestigors. Beastmen Bretonnia are very far ahead on the balance of power for this early in the game, but it's not quite over if these armor-piercing missiles can... Actually, wait. Yeah, if these armor-piercing missiles can focus up, they'll do alright. The Lord fight has been going well for the Elven factions. They just need to finish off some stuff, because look at all these low health bars that are just going to heal up from the Fey Enchantress. Meanwhile, a big pile-up of Cold One Knights could be a disaster for the Dark Elves if we get a Traderkin over here. That would hit all 3 of those Knight units and do a ton of damage, and the Bretonian archers have been uncontested this whole fight. For the Elves, I mean, their single entities are doing okay. Metalcaster's fine. Tyrion has Heart of Avalorn, so his health bar is deceptive as long as he doesn't break. He'll be okay. In fact, he's going to take a lot of damage at the moment. And yeah, that's the tricky part about Tyrion, is you want him to get low so his Heart of Avalorn pops and heals him up. But you don't want him to get low quickly enough that he actually breaks. So there, he healed without breaking. Perfect. He's back to like full health and already heal capped. Big cav engagement coming down, and is that a Traderkin or is that a Soul Stealer? It looks like it's going to be a Soul Stealer, and it is, and that's going to be huge for the forces of the Elves getting back into this game. They are actually dragging that balance of power back up to the center and even over it onto their side. You can see all these expensive units getting hit by the Soul Stealer, including the Fey Enchantress and her double Paladin friends. Now, while she's over there dinking around, Torox is having a terrible time against Tyrion and the Omen of Asuryan. Tyrion can especially duel Torox because he has fire resist, and Torox does fire damage. So Tyrion is an excellent combatant to run into Torox. Repeater Crossbow Cav are shooting some Knights that were forgotten on the very backside. If they break, they're just going to immediately run off the map, and that is, not ideal. Another Chalice of Potion goes a little bit wide. It looks like the Fey Enchantress wants to be very careful not to hit her own troops, but maybe being a little too cautious and just not hitting anything. Centaurs fighting Silver and Guard, not going to love that too much, and there's a big pile up of Goreherds and Bestigors. If the Omen of Asuryan could come over here and do its little Phoenix Awoosh Vortex spell, that could be very, very good. Meanwhile, the last of the Cold One Knights are going to get dragged down by just a terrible blob of Frenchmen. But Marathi and the Manticore are thinking about coming in. Never mind, we're going to get the awoosh over here. And it does damage against cavalry. That's why I prefer it to be against infantry, because they're a little more clustered up. It can do a lot more. But it's not bad. I mean, damage is damage. Where is Tyrion? Tyrion has run away from Torox and all those bad things, it looks like. Probably smart, especially since he's already heel capped. It's not like he can take any more trades for free. Last Manticore, very close to routing, but it does get down into the Peasant Bowman just before it would rout. The Elves are quite ahead on the balance of power. I would tend to agree. The Beastmen are very tattered. So are the Bretonnians. The only Bretonnian units that are healthy are these Peasant Bowmen, which are running a little low on ammo, so then you stop caring if they're healthy. This unit's going to be a bit of a problem. Tons of ammunition in that bad boy. How are the Elven single entities? Omen of Assyrian has plenty of health and has a rebirth left in it if it even gets low. Tyrion is heel capped, so he can't get any more help. And is that another Soul Stealer? No, that's a Traderkin. Okay, I don't love that. Traderkin is not super good against single entities. You want to save it for the Cav that's coming up. This is a good Soul Stealer, though. Though Marathi is very stuck, and this could be terrible. This has happened in many 1v1s, too, as Marathi gets a little too overconfident, lands next to Torox, gets trapped in just like this, and now she can't move a muscle, and she's going to need the High Elves to come bail her out. But they can't. They have nothing to go. Looks like the Omen of Assyrian is helping Tyrion fight a Paladin. But if it can fly up and over, it needs to come over here and bail out Marathi right now. She is just completely stuck. She can't move anywhere. She's surrounded by chariots, which are all higher mass than her little Pegasus. And on the other side, she has more chariots, Torox, and even the Fey Enchantress. Tyrion and the Omen of Assyrian are coming over here trying to bail out Marathi, it looks like, but they get a little bit distracted by some Peasant Bowmen. You can see every shot Marathi takes, the balance of power gets back closer to the center. And the Metal Mage is now here, and Marathi takes one last big shot from Torox before she starts to escape. But is she going to break in the meantime? Hard to tell. There's something being cast over here. Can't tell if it's a Traderkin or what's going on. Final transmutation from the High Elves, really discouraging that big blob and getting everything to move away. Now, these chariots are super low. I think the Elves are going to take control of this game once again, but... Ooh. All the chaff belongs to the red team. So it's blue team's single entities versus red team's chaff. Because red team's single entities are all very, very low. Tyrion's at half health, but still very dangerous. Marathi probably has a Soul Stealer or two left in her. Omen of Assyrian's doing well. But there's just no blue support left. All of it's gone or routed off. Metal Mage got beat up by Torox. It's going to run away now. Marathi's still very, very low. She has to be much more careful with her health bar. Get back out of here and dive in. Ooh, but it looks like she's going to take a fight with the Fey Enchantress, leaving herself open to a rear charge from Torox. And that is going to be bad. That is the death of Marathi and maybe the death of the Elves' chances in this game. But if Tyrion can quickly kill Torox right after that, that'll lower all the Beastmen leadership so significantly that maybe the Omen of Assyrian can cycle charge its way to victory. Torox is broken, but he still has 241 health. And as a recent video of mine showed, he can come back with 1 health. His leadership is high enough that having 1 health is more than enough. So he needs to be killed if he's going to actually be taken off this map. Knights of the Lionhearted from the Bretonnians are trying to block in Tyrion and the Omen of Assyrian. They're doing a good job at that. A nearly heal-capped Paladin, a nearly heal-capped Fey Enchantress are just waiting nearby. And the Paladin's actually going to chase off the Omen of Assyrian. But the Elves have fallen so far behind on the balance of power. It's pretty much just Tyrion. And he's not unbreakable. He is subject to army losses. The Omen of Assyrian might want to turn and fight just so it can try to get regrowth proc. It is RNG whether or not it gets it, but it's sitting this low on health is so bad for the balance of power, you might just get army loss soon enough. So if I were them, dive back in, just hope for some really good RNG, as that's your last hope in this game. Tyrion's trying to push out to get Torox with Foe Seeker, but it doesn't look like that's going to go well for him. Here we go. Does it get the rebirth? It does. Holding off army losses, slamming that bar back up into the territory where the Elves can still fight. Tyrion's trying to push forward to get close to the Omen of Assyrian. It's still looking very bad for them, but that, they needed that to stay in this game at all. Torox is somehow hanging around here with a non-visible health bar. Just here, fighting to the very end. The Omen of Assyrian's trying to fight. I wonder how many of these things can even possibly terror out, or is something here giving them ITP? I don't know. Some of the routes start coming in, though, and you will see a chain route start to happen. More and more things are routing off. Torox is routing off. Can the Elves do it? Probably not, but that'd be fucking hype. It'd also be some bullshit. Alright, army losses is going to hit for Tyrion and the Omen of Assyrian, but they did have one last hurrah on their way out the door. Stretch, stretch, stretch. I'm also a fan of Quick Harry Muff in place of Fair Enough. Just to see if you can get anyone to do a double take. Tyrion, 2,700 value, very good. Metalcaster, 3,500 value on those final trans. That's kind of hype. Silver Guard did fine. Archers kind of got shut down. Lion Chariots also got shut down. And the Omen of Assyrian got 2,600. It's good stuff from the High Elf single entities. Marathi, 3,000 as well. Blackguard did fine. Colden Knights kind of underperformed. Repeater Crossbows did okay. And Scourge Chariot did okay. For the Beastmen, Torox, 3,200, 2,400 on the Mage, 500 on the Gorbel. It's really a story of single entities, isn't it? Escort Chariots did quite well. And Spearman did fine. Plague Penguin, 2,300 on the Fey Enchantress. She didn't get much more Dissensioning done. Paladins paid for themselves. Good, good. Peasant Bowman, really pumping out good damage value considering how cheap they are. And the Knights also did quite well. So for Bretonnians, it was Peasants. For everybody else, single entities. GG, well played. Nobody loses to a bovine. How is a meteor crashing into people at all related to either a chalice or a potion? I don't know. I don't know. Where do cows get axes? From the farmers they killed, duh. What's cute in that? One semi is about ready. 2v2 mucho good. Oh, okay. For a second there, Queden, I thought you beat Evenstar in All Crawl, and I was about to ask you, what did you do? Okay. 2v2 mucho good. So, first semi-final. Smaller tournament today. I'll show you the bracket just because. Boop, boop. So Queden gave himself a bye because he hosted this tournament, and he gets to corrupt, cheat, and swindle his way through it as much as he wants. By that is a joke. It was just shuffled. Anyway, VM Berserk did prevail over Geese Howards and Way. So we have Berserk, which is two people I actually don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen Berserk play. But I don't recognize his friend either. Berserk and Decimus Laborus. I gotta update the things. We have Grumpy Queden versus Berserk Labor. Is that correct? No. Is it close enough? Yeah. I can't fit both of all their names in there. Come on, buddy. Looks like we have Dwarves High Elves versus Sartosa and Lizardmen. Is that right? Hold on, is that right? I mean, he is Vampire Coast. He didn't say he was going to be a sub-faction, but who cares, I guess. If you want to take the sub-faction for one of the worst lords, then that's fine. Because he does get the Sartosan Militia, though they aren't that good of a unit. Like, they're fine, but they're not incredible. And you lose the ability to take Noctilus or Luther, or Celestrin. I'm here. You can go whenever. Is it ever not the story of SEs? Yeah. Skaven. I mean, not to be a Skaven apologist, but usually their SEs aren't that important for the battle. Like, it's important not to let them die, but it's not important to use them to carry you the game. Your guns and globes and rat ogres will carry you the game. What if they were from dwarves, Doomsage? What if they were dwarven farmers with their axes? We all know dwarven farmers would have a great axe on the side. Like, they have like a normal hoe and a watering can, and then on their back a double-bearded great axe. You don't know. Do I have any tea left? Yeah. There's no greater pleasure in life than waking up a couple minutes before your alarm so you get to snooze and finding out you have a couple more sips of tea left when you thought you drank it all. It's the best. It's the best. A farmer without an axe is not a good farmer. See, he gets it. You have to fight off all the farm gremlins. Okay. Yeah, sorry, just checking some comments. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Blah, 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 blah. I was going to say something, but I forgot it, and then I checked some messages, and now I'm just dead inside. Oh, yeah. I'm going to make this channel into a League of Legends channel starting tomorrow. Just League of Legends content. This game sucks. I'm going to go play Fortnite. I'm a Fortnite streamer. Can you imagine if I was actually good at Fortnite? Oh, where's Hammond? Next week I was going to play some Age of Mythology with some friends, and I was going to wonder if he wanted me to stream it or not. You also might stick 2 fingers in my ears and go la 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 like a petulant child. No. No, you're not allowed. I'm such a... Thanks for doing good casting, human boy. Wait. I'm supposed to be good? Anyway, I'm such a fucking troll that when Rusty commented that I apparently said okie dokie a lot, now all I want to do is say okie dokie just to piss off Rusty. And that's the terrible person I am. Who was I with? I think it was Bob Tresh. We did Skaven Lizardman as a 2v2 once. And we found out the Lizardman's Revivification Crystal can only heal Lizardman units. It can't heal anything else. Because he had the idea where he was like, dude, we'll take a bunch of Jezzails, and then I'll take 2 Rev Crystals. And if they shoot... Yes. Sorry. If they shoot my Jezzails, he'll res them. And then, like, in the middle of the game, I had lost about 2/3 of all my Jezzails, and he was going to start reviving them, and he's like, human boy, we have a problem. And I'm like, what? He's like, I can't click on your units. And then we lost the game. We had to go into a custom battle after that. And if you hover over a non-Lizardman unit, it says invalid target. And we were like, cool. Cool, Lizardman. Have a faction-specific healing option that you don't explain. That's fine. That's fine. It wasn't the crux of our entire plan. You assholes. Ah, that was unfortunate. I wanted undead Skaven snipers. Get someone on Fiverr to do it. I've wanted to experiment with what music I can play as an intro. But I know Turin did Doom music for a long time and then randomly got DMCA'd. And the biggest thing is I don't want to set up an event and get a stream going and do all this stuff and then like test it out. And then YouTube cancels the stream. So then while everybody's waiting, I have to set up a second stream this time without music. So it just hasn't been a good time to test it, but... Meh. Jabba the Hutt? Human boy, you look like Skaven. I have a Skaven shirt on. I have a Skaven necklace on the wall over there. And I have a Skaven hat. So I hope I look like Skaven. I am trying really hard. I also had a black eye because my dog punched me in the face. Jabba is me? Captain Melons, you're not Jabba. Captain Melons, you're a liar. Use the music on my channel, it's my brother's. Is your brother gonna DMCA me? Okay, for... what did I put their name? For Berserk Labor. Wait. Yeah. For Berserk Labor, the Vampire Counts, and Lizardmen. Colden Riders, Ark of Sotek, Colden Riders, Colden Spear Riders, all in the trees. Then we have a front line of Saurus and Unbreakable Red-Crested Skinks. And that is an expensive Lizardman army, so I imagine that's almost all of what they have. There's a Thunderbolt, and there's a Curse of the Midnight Wind. We have Gorok. No! Why are you taking Gorok? He's such trash. He's such trash. No. After I saw Energized take him, versus who was it? Shit, who was Energized facing that was playing? Was it Dr. Jellyfish? I don't remember. Someone was playing Dwarves, and this asshole lost in a 1v1 duel against Thoric Ironbrow. He's trash. Stop taking him. He's so bad. Alright, anyway. Gorok ranting aside. For the Vampire Coast, we have Mortars, a Vampire Fleet Admiral just hiding behind a fucking pole. I mean, he doesn't want to get shot. It's smart. It's just very funny to see him like, you get him, lads. I'll be behind the pole. We've animated Hulks for some mass, a couple dogs, some zombie polearms, and then we have Sartosa Free Company frontline along with Sartosa Militia. Those guys cannot get healed by Invocation of Nehek. They are not undead. Then we have 2 Gunnery Whites, both on foot. We have gun bats. How many? Deck droppers with pistols. Ooh, and Pterodon riders. Wait, no, Riperdactyl riders, the Colossodon hunters. Okay, all right. This is a weird build. Then we have 2 handgun deck droppers as well. That Heaven's Caster better be remembered. For the elves and the dwarves before the War of the Beard. Went back when they could be best friends. We have Silverhelms. The High Elves bringing some cav. White Lions and Archers in the front line. We do have Prince Imric with his Vuvuzela of Doom. Is he paired up with Thoric? Hold on, he better be. Yeah, we have the double Vuvuzelas. So Thoric, if you don't know, just in case, he has the Rune of Doom. Give me the Rune of Doom. There it is. Map-wide, 24 melee attack causes fear, and then Imric has map-wide, 24 melee attack causes fear. So if you coordinate this well, I would not do them at the same time. It is overkill. This game much favors like a small buff for longer than a big buff short term. But anyway, so you could go Vuvuzela, Rune of Doom, back-to-back for 24 melee attack for a longer time. Anyway, I digress. We have a Noble, just a nice another anti-large duelist character. A Mage of Life with Earthblood and Regrowth. Some nice healing for the dwarves. And I think that's all the high elves. For the dwarves, we have Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors all around. Dwarf Warriors, Ekron's Miners, Dwarf Warriors. Oh, come on, give me some Longbeards. Don't make me look like a liar. There we go. There are the Longbeards. I knew they were around here somewhere. We do have a couple Rangers for Grumpy Guard as well. Ulthar's Raiders to lower armor. You mostly take Ulthar's Raiders for this little debuff. It is very useful. Minus armor, minus missile parry, minus missile resist. Very good. 1 Master Engineer with Restock and Flashbang. 2 cannons to countershoot the Vampire Coast, and we do have 1 Trollhammer Torpedo. I think this Dwarf High Elf build is very solid. I think they're going to take it. I'm going to vote on them. They're going to take it. 100%. Hope you like metal from the mid-2000s. I do like metal from the mid-2000s. I like a lot of things, but mostly... I don't know, man. Comes and goes. Currently, I'm into electronic stuff, but I'll listen to a little bit of everything. I have like 13 Taylor Swift songs in one of my playlists. All right, we don't differentiate here. Wait, it's Queden's birthday? Happy birthday, Queden! I forgot that. Damn it, you told me that like 2 weeks ago and I forgot. I'm really sorry about that. Oh, there's a bolt thrower in here. Sneaky little bolt thrower. Gorok sad. What happened in our battle? Why did we lose? Captain Melons, why did you lose? High Elves, Dark Elves? Dark Elf Cav was a little too blobbed. If it had separated out, maybe it would have done better. Also, you had a hard time finishing off anything. You did a lot of damage to Fae and Torox and stuff, but you had a hard time like chasing them down before Fae could just back up and heal them for a while. But it was a very close game. It was very close. Also, Marathi getting caught in the late game was really tough. Real tough. It's just a bad dreams, Melon. I've already cleared this up with chat. It's his birthday. Oh, Scurvy Dog slipping into the lines. I gotta cast the game. I gotta stop focusing on chat and Queden's birthday and chat. So spooky undead dogs are gonna get onto the cannons, and here's the thing about undead dogs. I've talked about it a lot on the channel recently, but they're not like typical dogs where you can route them very, very quickly. Undead dogs fight to the very death, so actually this cannon crew is in extreme trouble and is probably gonna shatter before these little Scurvy Dogs die. And more Scurvy Dogs plowing through the Dwarven lines, along with some Colden Riders coming up. And where are the Silverhelms? Silverhelms have been forgotten in the woods for just a moment. They really need to be here for this dog support. One cannon is already entirely gone. The other cannon is routing, and Rune of Doom has been popped to give a little bit of support to the front line. But both cannons are dead and gone. That is a very bad loss for the Dwarves and High Elves right away. Aside from that, the Gunbats have arrived. There's not a lot of Thunderers to shoot at them or anything. Most of the missiles are bows, which against flying units, bows aren't nearly as good as direct fire projectiles. And I saw some orders given to attack Gorok. It looks like Imric and the Noble are just going to town on him, and the Heavens Caster Skink is already dead. Gorok is fighting for his life with two bolt throwers shooting him in the back, and the Gunbats are up here teeing off onto anything they can shoot at, and they're doing good damage to this Life Caster, who's actually probably going to have to regrowth herself. Or Earthblood and run away or something like that, but she needs to do something. All the dogs that got into the back lines have been killed, but, I mean, they kind of got their job done, so who cares if they died. Silverhelms are having a hard time getting out of the trees, and that leaves the Lizardmen with the full cav advantage, and they're just going to plow straight through here and try to shut down a lot of stuff. Now, nice layering from the Dwarves and High Elves. They have plenty of infantry in the back. That can do great work against the Colden Spear Riders and Colden Riders. They're not super good at fighting infantry anyway. Sotosa Free Militia are fighting on the far side, though they have taken a lot of damage. They seem to be hanging in okay, and it looks like they routed off some archers, which could be chased by Colden Riders. The Colden Riders are actually just going to take the fight against the White Lions of Krace. They'll do well in the charge, but the longer they stay here, the worse it'll get for them. And Ekron's Miners with blasting charges are really trying to kill this Ark of Sotek and some of the cohort of Sotek, but maybe if their blasting charges had been focused on the cohort instead of the Ark, maybe it would have been a little bit better. Where did Gorok go? It looks like to the grave. Gorok is probably dead, my friends, but where is Imric? Where is Imric? Wait, there's no way he died. Thoric's right there. Lifecaster's still around. Is he dead? I mean, the Noble's way over there. He got kind of messed up. Guys, I think Imric's dead. Oh my god. Imric, my sweet boy. Oh no! Alright. Dwarves are trying to protect the last of their ranged assets. They are shooting the Ark of Sotek. They're doing okay. Thoric Ironbrow's right here, and he's fine. Lifecaster's fine. It looks like Gorok and Imric are both dead. And if they can snipe this Vampire Fleet Captain of Polearms, maybe they can clutch out this game still. Dwarves and High Elves are a little bit behind on the balance of power. I would tend to agree. They do look like they're in a bit of a rough spot. And there's... Imric's dead? Like, really? Like, really? He just died. He just straight up died. Whatever. Noble's going to snipe out the Skink Priest of Heavens and kill him. It looks like a regrowth is coming in for the Noble, who also gets shot. Why doesn't everybody just die? Why don't you just do that? It's fine. It's fine. It's all great. Do whatever you want to do today. It's the High Elves without their Lord... Yeah, Lord dead. Imric's toast. Without their Lord, it's down to Thoric and this Vampire Fleet Admiral. Admiral's going to lose the Thoric in melee combat, but he does have a lot of support gunbats that are clearly helping out with this little endeavor. Lifecaster currently getting gooned out by both the Clawstone Hunters and the double Gunnery White. Looks like she's going to take a quick fight against the Gunnery White, try to get out of here, and she is going to run away. Though she'll get shot in back the entire time, so she goes back to fight in melee, but again, the Clawstone Hunter's right there, so I think that's a dead Lifecaster. Thoric Ironbrow is still trying to kill this Vampire Fleet Admiral, but it's not really going that well for him. It's looking bad for the blue team. And how much to get gold rank? No idea. Oh no. Oh no, Thoric, don't you die. No, Thoric. Thoric's gonna die. Calling it. There's too many gunbats, and his Lifecaster is now routing off. Cowardly High Elf Hero Squad. How dare you? How dare you abandon the dwarves in the time of need? This is why they hate you. Ooh, the Clawstone Hunters getting onto the Iron Drakes is going to be real bad for the balance of power of the dwarves. If they can land hits, they have excellent armor-piercing values. Even though they have anti-large, they still have good enough armor-piercing that they'll get straight through. What's going on over here? This guy is almost heal-capped, and every time he casts a spell, he takes overcast damage from Thoric, because Thoric's pretty balanced. But 2 Gunnery Whites still alive. They have restocks for all these gun bats. The gun bats are almost entirely unthreatened. You could just back up with the Lord and let the gun bats and Gunnery Whites just shoot everything left on the map. I think this might be the fat GG. Balance Power is giving the Dwarves and High Elves a little more credit than I would. And I'm scared, Coach. I'm real scared. Because, like, what are you going to do? There's so many cav left that can just cycle charge you. All these gun bats are going to be infinitely... It's just, what are you going to do? Unless Imric's hiding in the woods, and even the elves think their lord is dead, but he's not. If he's just out there scheming, plotting, maybe they have a chance. But there goes Thoric. He's so low, and he's getting shot from all sides. No, God, I hate to see it. You hate to see it. Clawstone Hunters are fighting for their lives, currently T-posing on some dwarves to assert their dominance. One of them actually gets an attack in, the rest are just T-posing. Look at them go. It looks like they're peeing on their opponents. Not super sure what's happening there, but more power to them. Cold Riders charging from behind. Dwarves are about to start breaking despite their impeccable leadership. I mean, we have some white lions and stuff, but Thoric's gonna die. And when he dies, even the dwarven leadership will fail. And yeah, I think that's it. I think the Gunbats and Gunnery Whites are going to carry this. Master Engineers, ooh, yeah, he has a lot of ammo. He's probably carrying this balance of power. But Thoric finally dies, and with that, the Iron Drakes will rout. Some of these Longbeards and Dwarf Warriors will rout. It's the beginning of the end of the world of man. Look at these big Velociraptors hanging out with a guy with a blunderbuss. That looks weird. It's not right. It was a valiant attempt from Grumpy Garden Queden. But I think Queden will have to go celebrate his birthday and abandon the tournament to my waiting claws. I think. Oof. Nasty Scab's Wraith coming in from the Gunnery White. And army losses is going to set in then. Queden and Grumpy Guard will head to the third place match where they'll fight the loser of the other semifinal to see who comes in third on this day. Okay. High Elves struggled. Some of their infantry did fine. Silver Helms got gooned out in the forest. Their bolt throwers did fine. Imric did okay. For Grumpy Guard, Thoric did great. Some of his infantry actually got pretty good value. Blast charges did fine. Longbeards almost paid for themselves, which is good considering all you wanted them for was the hold. Ranged assets got a lot of value except for the cannons that got gooned out by the dogs immediately. For Decimus Liberius, for 10 labor, Heaven's Caster got 0 value. They got killed pretty quick. Gorok also got killed quite quickly, only got 800 value for himself. Cav did fine. Clawstone Hunters did great. Ark of Sotek actually got shut down a little bit. For Berserk, his Lord was more supportive. His Gunnery Whites did excellently. Free Company Militia did okay. Dogs did really well considering what they needed to do, except for that one. That one got a little killed somewhere. Deck Droppers did great. Mortars did actually very, very well. And I'm a mortar hater, so I'll admit that. GG, well played. On the other side, Evenstar and Ulrich / Swarv and Tank are still playing. Okay. Alright. We'll host a lobby, get Blood Penguin in here. 2v2, semi 2. Round 2 versus... Oh, okay. They have a lobby. Never mind. We'll just go here. Nobody. So I'll message Evenstar. He's usually pretty quick to answer. Hey, how goes the round 1? swear to God. Did they double book themselves again? Are either of them in HW's finals at the moment? Hold on. Okay, there's an ad. Someone's messaging me, but it's not that important right now. Where is the playoffs? Even stars in another tournament again. Okay. Okay, hold on. Where's Swarv? Swarv was messaging me the other day. Okay, one sec. I got a message, Queden. Sorry. How much to get gold? Okay. So Captain Melons is talking to me. How many games do you need to get ranked on End Ladder? I think 5. Yes. How much to get gold rank? Pretty quick, depending on your starting elo. But it's if you win all 5 of your games, it's not that hard to get gold. The problem is if you lose any games, then it's pretty hard. Heckin' cannon would not shoot through this destructible terrain. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be tough. So Swarv, cards on the table. Swarv is playing a different game, so I am betting that they are not currently playing their 2v2. Evenstar is in a different tournament. So if Swarv answers me, I'm going to advance him and tank. I'll find tank. Hold on. Because Evenstar's a different tournament. He's done this before. And, like, come on. We have shit to do today. What was the result? So Tank answered me right away, thank God. They have won. Okay, thanks. Evenstar and Alec won their first match. Okay. It hasn't been reported on Challenge, is why I couldn't see it. Okay. So Queden's dealing with some stuff with that, but it looks like Evenstar and Ulrich won their first round. But now they're not here. Okay. Okay. So we're getting Tank and Swarv in here. Cool. Sorry about this. You hate to see it. If people are doing 2 things at once, it's like, well, shit. I mean, we have... we have something going on too, so you double booked yourself. Swarv and Tank should be coming. Lobby is up. I'll go find the name again, because I just saw it. And if I'm in it, he should be able to find it, because Tank and I are friends. We're homies. We're not homies. I don't think he even likes me. Round 2 versus Paragon Penguin. Got it. Your opponent is coming. Sorry for delay. Okay. Boom, boom. Being Doom Sage, I've now read your message correctly, but here's how I read it. Being pretty and short-tempered, I'd probably just DQ them after failing to show for their match. And I know you said petty, but I'm just like, damn, Doom Sage, you pretty? All right. I'm pretty and short-tempered. Okay. So Tank's here. What are the factions? What are the factions? What are the factions? What are the factions? Find your opponent, scroll up. So Tank is on Dwarves and Beastmen. Dwarves, Beastmen versus Brett, Beastmen, so you can start on armies. Just an FYI. You are also pretty. Goddamn right you are. I don't know you, but I'm sure you're gorgeous. Yeah, gorgeous. Swarv is finishing up a round of Rainbow Six Siege. He will be here soon. I mean, like we said, he thought he was knocked out of the tournaments. That one I'm not like, come on, Swarv! Why don't you just sit around waiting to get auto advance to the next round? Jesus. So he's coming. I just saw him boot up Total War Warhammer 2, so he'll be here in a second. Tank is already here. We have Blood Penguin. We have Paragon. Hopefully this army build phase is going to be fast. Hey, Swarv. So Swarv's back in. You do have long hair right now, but that includes your face. You got a big beard. Where is Swarv? He got confused, but I was excited to see him. Teehee. I have a blocker up, right? Okay. Otherwise, Blood Penguin's build is just all over. Dwarves, Beastmen versus Bretonia Beastmen. I mean, the Beastmen bounce, so I'm going to favor Dwarves and Beastmen here, because Dwarves counter Bretonia pretty hard. And that's the only thing about this matchup that really matters, I guess. Bretonia has a bad matchup into Beastmen and a bad matchup into Dwarves. I don't know. I don't know. You are just too handsome. Apparently, Swarv's name is 123, and that's not his Steam picture, so he's very confused. Hobo chic. I like it. I like it. So anyway, yeah. Beastman is fine into Beastman, and Beastman is good into Dwarves. But I think Bretonia is going to be the weak link here. Though Blood Penguin is an excellent player, so like, maybe it evens out, but I mean, Swarv and Tank ain't no slouches. Swarv got to the finals of our last tournament, and he fought Evenstar. So, it's looking tough. It's looking tough. I have to update the names, don't I? Names. It's not Grumpy Queden anymore. It is Plague. Let's go with Blood Paragon. Nah, Paragon Penguin makes more sense because his name's not Blood Penguin on Steam. Paragon Penguin. And then no more Berserk Labor. They're in the finals. Let's go with Swarv Tank. I want that to sound like a tank, like a thing with treads and a cannon that goes boom boom, but it just looks like I slapped their names together. Let's get creative. Let's go So Tank RV. I love me. No one else does. Okay. Good day. Hey Danielle, how you doing, dude? I could see it being a runway thing in France, but only because I have lots of weird cultural prejudices. We all have a lot of weird cultural prejudices. The Beastmen on one side are ready. Swarv and Tank are doing big thanking. Call them stank. I could call them stank. But that always takes me back. Does anybody remember Command & Conquer Renegade? Has anybody played that game? Because Command & Conquer... Command & Conquer as a series was generally a top-down overhead RTS. And I love those games. And then randomly, they made a team-based objective shooter called Renegade. And it was great. It was great. I loved Renegade. But one thing they had in there is the Nod faction, the bad guys, had a stealth tank. And whenever you were typing in chat that you wanted to do a stealth tank rush really fast, you would just go stank rush. So now, whenever I see stank, even in referring to like a smell that is bad, and they're like, oh, that is a stanky smell, I'm just like, stealth tank? They're coming! Because it was so bad, dude. In that game, and like stealth tanks weren't that good, but the thing about it is if you took a stealth tank rush, you would take like 8 or 9 of these tanks that you just can't see unless you get within like, honestly, like a millimeter of them, or you hit them with a projectile. And so while you, the good guys, are like coordinating your strike and you're like trying to get your shit together, your base just suddenly could come under complete attack. And the strategy of the stank rush was never to win the game outright. It was to do irreparable shock damage to your opponent and then lose the battle but win the war. So it's like your team gets wiped and you lose all these tanks and you spent a lot of money on it, but your opponent loses like their Tiberium refinery, so they get less money for the rest of the game. And then you guys regroup, fight from a deficit for a little bit, but until the GDI forces or whatever, like, they'll run out of money because you blew up their Tiberium refinery, and then you'll take control of the game again or something. But it was just like, stank rushes, man. They're fucked up. They're fucked up. You had a rough week? I'm sorry. Is there any of it you care to share in a YouTube chat? Generic stuff? Like, you fell down some stairs? You recommend ethanol for a rough week as a medical doctor? I wouldn't recommend drinking straight ethanol. You're mostly done with alcohol? Me too, buddy, but mine's for medical reasons. My liver is poop. Not really. Actually, my liver is currently fine, but I'm genetically disposed to my liver not being fine later in life, so I need to not drink very much. But for now, I'm okay. Grace is talking to the pup. Sounds like the puppy's gonna go get lunch. I wish I could get lunch. No lunch for the hummus boy. Just a granola bar and tea and sadness. Penguin all of a sudden redid his build, but it looks like he's mostly done now. 2 men on builds. work was stressful. I get that, dude. All right, everybody's ready except for Blood Penguin, who was ready a moment ago, so hopefully he'll be ready again soon. His build is full. He has no more room to get troops. It should just be chevrons and go! No, it's a joke. You're the Doom Sage, so I give terrible advice. Oh. Okay. All right. We're all ready. Let's go! Let's do this. This is the second semifinal. Whoever loses this will go face Queden and Grumpy Guard for the third place prize. Whoever wins this will go to the finals. The finals. Finity finals. Doom Sage, you're not kidding, dude. You're not kidding. You're big serious. Let's get rid of the blocker. And we'll see if Paragon Penguin can overcome the dreaded stank. Those dwarves and beastmen as a combination, I doubt we're getting a stank rush. We're probably getting a stank sit. Who's up? Swarv and Tank on the dwarves and beastmen versus Blood Penguin and his friend Paragon something that I'm forgetting. Damn it. Yeah, Doomsage is a funny dude. I trolled Doomsage accidentally because he sent me a video of Glade Guard with spears beating Longbeards, and I was like, of course that happens. But in text it came across as like, of course that happens. Like, why did you think this was special? So then he was sad because he's like, I tried to share something with you and you just shit all over it. And I was like, no, I was sorry. I was being sarcastic and I'm sorry. And he said it's not okay, you're a piece of shit. And we haven't talked since. It's kind of an ordeal. Look at these little bridges. Oh, okay. I guess I don't get to look at the bridges anymore. That's true. No bronze match this time? Oh. Okay, I thought I saw that there was a thing. Oh, there's no bronze match this time. I'm sorry, dude. I'm spreading misinformation. I'm hurtful. I know. Alright, so whoever wins this will go on to the best of 3 finals, and then there is no bronze match, just an endless pit of despair. For Blood Penguin, we see his beloved peasant archers yet again, but now the switch-up he all of a sudden got was an elite infantry corps, battle pilgrims, and foot squires across the front line. He used to have a more traditional Bretonnian build, but then he all of a sudden switched this at the last second. For backup, we have a bunch of Knights of the Realm, more men-at-arms, peasants, men-at-arms, foot squires, etc., more Knights of the Realm, and it looks like we have a life caster with Luinlancourt up in the sky. In the woods for his beastman compatriot in Paragon Dova, we have Gore herds, Ungor spearman herds, Torx the Brass Bull, Bray Shaman of Wilds. We do have some Bestigors, looks like 3 of them. 3 of them. Harpies in the vanguard. And is that all? 2 Tuskor chariots. Okay, and that looks like most of the beastman force. So it's a heavy infantry rush from the Bretonnians and beastmen with a little bit of cav support and a monstrous lord. Cool, cool. So, no, Doomsage, you were sad. There was crying. It's okay. It's okay, buddy. It's all right. Their formation's kind of still fucked, so I don't really want to start talking about it, and then everything moves. But whatever. Torox, Gorbel, a whole bunch of Ungor herds and Ungor spearman herds. So a lot of chaff from the beastmen. Then we have Centaurs galore. Looks like Centaurs and then Centaurs' great weapons and then some with throwing axes. We have dogs, Razor Gore hordes, the Butchers of Kalkengard. I actually love that unit recently. They've been super, super good. They're just like the best bodyguards Torox could ever ask for. And of course, a Wilds caster with Traderkin. Ooh, and Viletide. You'll love to see it. For tank, we have 2 Slayers, 2 Cannons, 3 Quarrelers. And then we have some Longbeards, Ekron's Miners, Dwarf Warriors. Oh, yeah, we have Gotrek and Felix! Let's fucking go, dude! Gotrek, Felix, and Ungrim Iron Fist. Tank, for some reason, barely ever takes Thoric Ironbrow. And while I disagree on a tactical note, as a caster, you're my favorite. Go, Tank, go. Keep doing what you gotta do. Honestly, I'm just happy to have found a place that isn't so, what's the word, sterile, clean. Yeah. When I started casting, it was mostly because I thought everybody was doing a lot of the same builds, and also it kind of annoyed me sometimes as a, like, they do fine. I'm not going to say I hate their streams, but there's, like, sometimes a lack of truth where they'll, again, I've talked about it, but like, it's Timmy Two Toes versus Even Star, and it's an even match. And I'm like, it's not an even match. Come on, dude. Give Even Star his credit. He's the best player in the goddamn world, debatably. Anyway, armies are lining up. They're going to get going soon. Build advantage-wise, I'm probably going to go with... I honestly really like the Bretonnian Beastman combo right now, like this massive infantry corps that's just going to charge and try to overwhelm the defenders, much more than kill them, just like, you know, this guy's fighting something, you push something through here, while this guy's fighting something, you push something through here, and you just push through everything, force path, take out all their range stuff, and then grind them down. And the Beastmen have a decent Centaur core, but, I mean, Knights of the Realm trade okay into all of this stuff. Now, a big problem is going to be Throwing Axe Kite and Traderkin and stuff, but you also have Traderkin on your side. A big concern, comps aside, comps are very good. I am worried about the deployment because they couldn't know what was coming, right? But one thing Swarven Tank did since the last time we cast them on this exact map is they did exactly what I wanted. When you're trying to be defensive, deploy away from the forest. The forest benefits you none. You don't want to be near it. So just get as close to the right side as you can. Get away from that forest, and they've done that. So now this big advancing Beastman force that wanted the cover of the forest that doesn't get shot by cannons or anything, they're out of position. And now they have to come out, and they have to try to hit here at the same time these Bretonnians are going to hit here. And if you get off, it's a big problem with rushing in 2v2 and why it's such a hard format to do rush. Defensive play is a lot easier to coordinate between two players. Rushing is really hard because the Bretonnians are going to get here too early. They're going to get gunned down. And then before the Beastmen even get here, this front line of peasants is going to be gone, and maybe the secondary line of foot squires is going to take a lot of damage. So this is nice. This is great deployment over here. It does look like the Beastmen are just trying to utilize their faster movement speed of their infantry to catch up with the Bretonnians, but you can see already this peasant mob starting to take some damage. Now Swarv in the back is getting his centaurs and dogs active, keeping the knights a little busy, getting in some good poke. I mean, not bad. If they got caught, it's risky. If they get caught, it could be terrible, but if they don't get caught, then it's perfect. Paragons, Harpies are coming back to support a little bit. Looks like they're just going to be used to kind of zone some of these things. He brought them for gyrocopters that aren't here, as Shogunik likes to point out whenever I talk about Harpies. Peasant Bowmen are taking shots from the Quarrelers, which they'll lose that range duel, so they don't really want to be in range of the Quarrelers if they can avoid it. Quarrelers are heavily armored and shielded, neither of which the Peasant Bowmen want to deal with. Now, Tuskor Chariots are getting involved, and this is a pretty good play. Swarv kept a couple high-mass units back here, but not a lot. So these Butchers of Kalkengard and Centaurs have to come up and counterplay these Tuskor Chariots, otherwise their infantry is just going to get run over. Now, unfortunately for Swarv, a lot of his micro is dedicated back here, and he may not notice that he needs to get his mass up there and stop the Chariots right now. That being said, we do have Ungrim, Felix, and Gotrek, and they can body Chariots if they get on top of them. Chariots don't have a lot of health per model. Like, they have a good amount, but not a lot faced with heroes and lords. Heroes and lords are pretty good against Chariots. In the back, some of the red team centaurs are getting caught, but their dogs are also going wild, and it looks like the blue team is having a bit of a mass rout problem going on with their peasants and archers in the back, but a lot is happening back there. A blob fight has started with the red team coming out heavily in advantage with all of their single entities. But I'm getting a little worried about their front line. It's taken a lot of damage across the area, and some of these centaurs have been held in reserve for a little bit too long. Ungor Spearman Herds fighting Razor Gores. Razor Herds are going to rampage most likely and come right back into it. And it looks like the Regime of Wilds was getting cannoned down a little bit, but he is back in action. Maybe he can get up and throw a Traderkin somewhere. Vile Tide from Swarv is going to do some good damage to the Bestigor and Ungor Herd, and they're immediately going to actually terror out from something nearby. It looks like maybe the Butchers were close enough to proc that. For Blood Penguin and Paragon, what is going well is this backfield fight. Finally, Swarv's micro slipped up maybe a little bit as he was finally microing some things in the defensive position, and as soon as those Centaurs got caught, they got disintegrated. His throwing axes back there are still doing very well, and he has routed off a lot of archers, so Swarv went out with a vengeance, but some of his stuff finally did get caught. Where is Lewin? Lewin is now coming into the fight, but the problem with Lewin is why this matchup is so bad for Bretonnia is Lewin will get absolutely gutted by Gorbel or Torox or both, and currently he's sitting right next to them, so if Swerve realizes that and pulls them over here, or gets a surround on him with the Butchers of Kalkengard, that's going to be a bad time, and Lewin now has to bail out the Damsel of Life, putting himself in an extremely dangerous position to try and bail her out, and it looks like both the Minotaur lads are just ignoring her, but you can see as soon as they start swinging at Lewin, he's going to go down. He's going to go down hard. With his life caster currently routing, she can't cast anything to help him for quite a while, and he might be stuck in this position. The Butchers of Kalkengard were used to push off some knights, but they really need to come back here and trap in Lewin, make sure he stays in this losing fight, because you can see he is losing it badly. Blood Penguin is going to take him out of here, the only route that doesn't have high mass units in it. Very, very nice stuff from him. Bounce power is about dead even, and I would agree. It's kind of a wild fight, as the red box is holding, and a lot of their ranged assets are secure, but only just barely, and you can see a lot of blinking leadership bars, meaning this box is about to collapse. It's all about whether the blue team still has the strength to really punish a collapsing box. Yes or no. Centaur's trying to keep Lewin on the ground as the Butchers of Kalkengard and Gorbel try to push through towards him, but he is going to get out of here. He has some Knights of the Realm nearby that could turn around and fire back into the Centaurs, which looks like they're going to do. Where is Blue Torox? There he is, and he's been doing okay. While Red Torox and Red Gorbel were over here, Blue Torox has been doing whatever he wants, but he might be in danger now, as we can see these guys are kind of setting their eyes on him, coming over, maybe going to punish him for trying to fight this Bray Shaman of Wilds. He gets a little bit of damage off, but it doesn't look like it's been a whole lot. We have some blue infantry units. Ooh, and that's a Gore Herd. That's a relatively expensive unit to be off in the middle of nowhere like that. Blue Torox might be on his last legs as all of a sudden the single entity squad from Red shows up, but Lewin's going to take advantage of that moment. As long as his friend is dying, he needs to try and get value elsewhere, and that's what he will do. Trying to rout off some Centaurs and really shut down these last few Quarrelers for the Red side. The blue is looking so tattered. Like, even if they get through this front line, what's left? Some wounded-ass Knights, a very wounded caster, some Harpies. That's it. I think blue is in trouble. They don't have a lot of stopping power left in them. Traderkin is cast over here. If it hit those Harpies, it would do a lot of damage, but I didn't quite catch it. No, it didn't. It didn't catch him. Foot Squires are still fighting. Ooh, but Blue Torox dying and the state of the blue army is probably going to be a double whammy that they'll get crushed by, and it'll be down to Lewin. And Lewin's been left alive in a lot of games recently where he just cycle charges stuff but doesn't do a whole lot of damage and eventually gets ground to defeat. It was a close game, though. I mean, it's still not over, but just saying, it's closer than I would have thought. Butchers Kalkengard are going to walk Torox off the map. And Tank's Hero Core is so healthy. And Felix is just going to keep healing people up as long as they can find random peasants to fight. And I mean, what can kill a Torox, a Gorbel, a Bray Shaman of Wilds, and Gotrek, Felix, and Ungrim all healing? Not a lot. You got a Dread Saurian in your pocket? Maybe? Even a Dread Saurian might just die there. Gotrek's kind of a beast. Cycle charging the last of these Longbeards. They are ITP, however, so even Lewin can't terror out them. And Red is pretty much just down to its Hero Core. Looking around. They have one healthy Dwarf Warrior, half health Longbeard, and that's about it other than their Hero Core. But what a Hero Core it is. Torox almost got charged by Knights of the Realm, but they're immediately going to piece out of there, though he might catch them anyway because Torox is silly, but he does call off his attack order as Lewin gets a nice little pick onto the Bray Shaman of Wilds, just trying to do a little bit of damage to him before he needs to get off the ground. Harpies are going to dive in. It looks like a Traderkin is coming in from that Bray Shaman, and it is going to hit those Harpies, doing good damage to them, and it hits some infantry units, which it doesn't do nearly as well against. Thankfully for the Bretonnians, it missed the Knights of the Realm, but even they are just going to get punked by Torox and Gorbel soon. And Lewin's diving in, realizing it might be now or never to take out Torox and the Gorbel before they group up with the deadly Dwarven single entity squad. But Lewin is actually going to dive over here, help fight Longbeards instead. That could be a mistake. It is a Hail Mary to go after Torox at this point, but you might need a Hail Mary if you're going to get anything done in this game. What is left? What is left? What is left? Nothing. Nada. Zippo. Zero. Centaurs are going to get a side charge under the Bestigor herd, incidentally, as they're trying to chase down this Damsel of Life, but that will rout off the Bestigors. She is casting something onto somebody somewhere. Looks like a regrowth for the Knights of the Realm, trying to keep them in just before Centaurs catch her and most likely rout her off. Lewin is trying to pull away from the Gorbel, Torox, and the Butchers of Kalkengard, but I just don't See it, Captain. I don't see you winning this one, Chief. Knights of the Realm have almost healing capped, which is silly, but the blob has formed. The deadly, the fearsome, single entity blob of dwarf and beastmen combined in a horrible abomination of metal and flesh. Felix heals only in combat? Yes, but there's a lot of peasants around he can go fight. Did you seriously go with Stank? That's mean. Maybe it's the steam tank. Maybe it's the stealth tank from Command & Conquer Renegades. You don't know. You don't know. At this point, I'm not seeing it, Chief. Some Harpies, one Chariot, and Lewin versus all this. I think it's over. I think it's donezo. Lewin does snipe one random Butcher of Kalkengard, but there's 7 more, and they're going to just run up, beat him to death. Torox is even going to think about getting a shot in. Gorbel's going for his little charge attack. But they both miss. No. Gorbel gets a second one in there just for no reason. That's pretty bad for good old Lewin. Rest of his forces rout off. Army losses coming in hot. And Swarven Tank will advance to the finals to fight Berserk. And who was his helper? It was that Ligarius guy. I forget the first part of his name. So Paragon Dova. His Torox had trouble getting value. He was cycle charging a lot of chaff for a while, but as soon as he got into a single entity fight, he was outnumbered like 5-1. Blood Penguin, Lewin did his best, but he just, like, for how much work he does, he gets so little value. I don't know, man. Lewin, recently I'm thinking Lewin might suck. Unpopular opinion, but I think Lewin might just suck, you guys. It's unfortunate, because I love Lewin. Peasant Bowman got shut down very quickly, so they didn't get quite their value that we saw Blood Penguin go with them last time. His Knights of the Realm actually did okay. For Swarv, Torox 1,500 value, his Caster 1,300. Gorbel actually beat out all the other single entities in value. Centaur play was good, dog play was good. Got a lot of stuff done. Butcher's at Kalkengard. God damn, 2,500. You love to see it. Tank's Hero Core didn't get a lot of value, but they were all still full health at the end of the game, so I guess, you know, they had a lot left to give. Slayers did fine. Quarrelers paid for themselves. Can't. Whoa! 2,200 on a cannon. Okay. Alright. You love to see it. Does Ikit come back in Age of Sigmar? I don't know. I don't know. I think this lobby is going to be bugged. I will make new. Actually, I'll ask Tank to make new because he's much closer in region. Actually, can you host? Might be less laggy since I am in USA. And I thank you for all you. Alright, I'm trying to check on the chat. You're hurtful? No, I'm not. Liar. Liar. The boys, the lads. Steve Tank, says Geese Howard. Yeah. No, I don't dislike Intensity or Turns content at all. I just thought there was a niche that wasn't being filled. Doom Rocket, but not dropped. Uses a club unit to explode point blank. That'd be like the Skaven version of a Bloated Corpse. Is a melee unit that every time they swing, the unit explodes and does a lot. Felix only heals in combat. Yes. Yes. Does Ika come back in AOS? I believe he does. In his own way. It seems multiplayer in Warhammer 3 will be much better. Hopefully, dude. Okay, Swarv and Tank have sent me there. best of 3 factions. Well, Queden sent me them from Swarven Tank. Hello again. We'll need to find Berserk and his friend. Though Tank is VM and Berserk is VM, so hopefully he's already messaged him. I will see if I can go find him. At Berserk. Lobby is up for finals. And they'll get in here. Queden has sent me the other 2 factions, which I will not announce right now, just because otherwise that's not really blind pick, is it? Schwarzhofen, is that the map? Yes, it is. Schwarzhofen, Shimmersword, and Iron Sand Desert will be our best of 3. If I had to bet on a favorite, I would definitely say Swarven Tank. At the start of the tournament, I said Evenstar and Ulrich / Swarven, whoever he paired up with, would be the favorites. And I mean, nothing's changed since then. My opinion hasn't changed. I think Swarven Tank are both excellent players. So Berserk and his ally have an uphill battle to fight, but fighting Queden and Grumpy Guard, I mean, they looked good, so I wouldn't be shocked if they won. I'd say the odds are probably like 3-1. Probably. I guess it also depends on the factions they're bringing in. What's round 1? Round 1 is the Beastmen Dwarves we saw versus Vampire Coast and Lizardmen. That looks tough. That looks real tough for Berserk and Decimus. Because Beastmen counter Lizardmen traditionally. Dwarves counter Vampire Coast traditionally. Yeeh. Uphill battle. You look forward to the old factions dropping WWE versus WWF style dunk on those new factions super hard? And more Skaven DLC? Dude, the Skaven are going to be the best faction in Warhammer 3 on release. I guarantee you. Even not in the game, the thought of Skaven is going to be better than any of those trash factions. Fight me. Oh, I'm Nurgle. I have a fat guy out of Cauldron. Yeah, big fucking whoop. We have imaginary rats with imaginary miniguns. Pew pew, motherfucker. Oh, I'm Korn. We have big scary guys. We're gonna run at you and go brr, 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 brr. Yeah, nice try. Warp grinders. You can't even move. Poison globes. GG, well played. Skaven best faction Warhammer 3. Fight me. No, I actually don't think Skaven will move in power level in 3. There's a couple factions that I think on paper are going to hard counter them. I think there are a couple factions on paper that Skaven hard counter. And Skaven, in my opinion, which is not a popular opinion, Skaven are an extremely versatile faction. So I think the more factions you have in a game, the better a versatile faction is, because it's easier to explain why a versatile faction would be good comparing them to a faction that's all or nothing. Dwarves. I think the more factions there are in a game, the worse dwarves get, because there's more things that dwarves will get hard countered by. So then it's harder to find a situation where you can play dwarves without the threat, right? Because right now, as the dwarves, you want to... I mean, with Thoric notwithstanding, but let's talk about general meta. General meta with dwarves, you don't want to play if Skaven are playable, if High Elves are playable... Usually if Dark Elves are playable, but again, Thoric's unbalanced, but I don't think 3 will leave him unbalanced for very long. So that kind of thing. So then if you add more factions, let's just say Khorne and Slaanesh also counter dwarves, like counter them super hard, because dwarves are such a binary faction. Either you counter them or you lose. Now you need to wait to play dwarves until there's 5 factions off the table. As opposed to Warhammer 3, where there's like 3 factions that if they're on the table, you shouldn't play dwarves. Right? Now oppose that to Skaven, where I'm saying Skaven have a lot of even or favored matchups, and they have a couple bad ones. Even their bad ones are playable, as I've been playing a shit ton of Chaos and Wood Elves on stream, and I still win about half of them. If you add more factions like that, it's like, yeah, sure, maybe Khorne and Slaanesh are going to be bad, but they're playable-ish. And then Skaven are going to be good into Cathay. They're going to be good into Kislev, in my opinion. I think they're going to be good into Nurgle. I think they're going to be great into the Ogre Kingdoms. And they'll also be good into Tzeentch, in my opinion, because you have the best aerial net in the entire game. And Tzeentch is like, oh, I'm flying. And you're like, good. Sit up there. You can't duck. Unless you're going to land. And then if you're landing, you're paying for flying you're not going to use. So you have the best aerial net in the game. You have some of the best anti-air capabilities in the game. You can punch through their shields. You have extreme range. I think Skaven are going to be very good against 5 out of the 7 factions. So they're just fine. And I think Skaven can handle charges okay. So I act like, memes aside, I think when Skaven enter Warhammer 3, I think they're going to be in a better position than they were in Warhammer 2. And they're already in a good position in Warhammer 2, in my opinion. I think they're fine. We've been seeing them raising popularity a little bit recently. And they're kind of like Empire in that Skaven were OP for a long time, and people are just like, Poison Wind crushes everything, and Poison Wind got nerfed, Skaven trash tier faction. Trash tier, shit faction. But I've been playing a lot with Warp Fire Throwers recently. Rat Ogre's got a buff with the Cavalry mass changes. That's actually felt really nice. Greyseer is unfortunately one of your only meta lords, but they are really good. You have a lot of good magics. Poison Wind is still okay. Some of your infantry has been underrated for a long time. Wolf Rats are still very good. So I think Skaven have been underrated, and people are kind of picking them up a little late in Warhammer 2, but I think going into Warhammer 3, they'll be better. Okay, dokie. Where were we at? Yeah, imagine triple warp lightning cannon looking over a couple domination points. Poison Wind globes are going to, like the mortars, Poison Wind mortars are going to do great in domination mode, I think. Because I think the Skaven strategy in domination in general will be sacrifice the points early, kill a whole bunch of your opponents, and then take the points and hold them for the rest of the game. So I think Skaven's general pattern is going to be go down about 1,000 points and then take over and try to ride out that for the rest of the game. You don't have to do exactly one build or lose with High Elves. The kind of static meta is just hateful, but yeah, it seems like people do new things with them even now. Yeah, I like the Skaven playstyle, but the thing that makes me love Skaven over Dwarves so much is just how silly they are and their voice lines are perfect. Skaven are great. Greyseer's a good lord. What sucks about the rest of the Skaven lords is that they're not that bad. Ikit's kind of bad, Thrott's kind of bad, but they're just kind of bad. They're workable. Ikit and Thrott are better than most other factions' bad lords, but then you're like, well, we see the other factions' bad lords more than we see Ikit and Thrott. Why is that? Fireball. Dude, Fireball does so much damage, even to a fucking Doom Wheel. Overcasted Fireball does so much damage to a Doom Wheel. It'll wreck Thrott immediately, and those are big expensive pieces. And same with Snitch. I can only take Snitch in a few matchups where I don't know Fireball's coming, and it's still in the Empire matchup I take Snitch all the time, and sometimes I'll take a Fireball caster and one-shot his ass. Skrulk, Fireball and Spirit Leech one-shot him, and it's just that. The Greyseer has armor, a high health pool, and magic resist. It's the only Skaven lord that has that. Ikit Claw has a low health pool, high armor. Fireball still does a lot of damage. Thrott has shit armor and fire weakness, but he has regen. Fireballs quickly take him to his healing cap. Snitch and the Footlords, low health pool, no magic resist. Fireball's going to take him down. It's just like... Well, thankfully, the Lore of Fire is not that common. Oh, over half the rosters have it? Greyseer it is! You're just stuck with him. Because one of the most common spells in the game insta-kills all your other lords, and it's like... God damn it. Because Snitch's stats are fine. Skrulk's stats are fine. Skrulk's spells and items are really good. It's just Fireball. Thrott's stats are okay. He kind of sucks. But his support abilities are fine. His Rat Ogre summons are fine. Fireball just kills him. Ikit's good as a mobile lord that you can get out of trouble. And he can sometimes snipe chariot characters with his Zap Zap thing. But Fireball's homing. It's just going to track him down. And the problem with Doom Wheels is other fast mounts, I'm paying attention to the builds. If they get done here pretty soon. Oh, I'm getting messages from Queden. No, it's from Murph. Okay. I'll give him the warning in a second. But the problem with Doom Wheels is a lot of other fast mounts, because Doom Wheels are relatively fast, is when Fireball curves, it slowly curves. And if you watch really good players like Zyphos and Chosen One play with horse characters, they'll pick a hard direction that is, I'm forgetting the word for it. I think it's adjacent. It's not parallel, so it must be adjacent. They'll go hard right, make the Fireball start to turn, and then they'll turn around and immediately go left, and the Fireball will miss, almost every time. The problem with Doom Wheels is their turn animation is stopping dead. They stop, and then they start to turn very slowly. That is the worst possible thing you could do to avoid a Fireball. The worst thing. So that's why Ikit, even with his high armor, is terrible at dealing with Fireballs, because it does good damage to him. And he's on a mount option that is literally the worst in the game at dodging a projectile. The worst. And it's huge. Doom Wheel's huge. So anyway. When mortars... Do mortars stutter when you select them and say, Warp Lightning, ning, ning? Queek is best because it's Queek. I love Queek, but he's not that good, unfortunately. Dude's probably ripped. The Rat Ogre that's pulling his bell is probably ripped. Okay. Queden, I always look for your approval. If Queden doesn't approve of what I'm doing, I cry for hours. There's nothing wrong with Doom Wheels. Why is your sentence still going? Why you bully me? Flayers are even worse. Yeah, Flayers... The one thing Flayers have over Doom Wheels is they can occasionally dodge stuff just because they're small. Like, the big wheel on the front and the little seat on the back, frequently the spell will aim at the guy on the little seat, so then it'll sometimes go over his head just because he's tiny. Righty. So we're into game one of the finals. This is a best of three, which means this could be the second to last game. This could be the third from last game. You won't know until you subscribe. Stick around, find out, send me a bunch of money, give me super chats of over $100 or more. You know, the usual. Joke's on you, we don't have super chats. But we're getting there, dude. 775 subs. We are getting there. We got this. 779 now. Wow, we got 4 during the stream. Good lord. Captain Melons and Jabba the Hutt subscribing. 2 definitely different people. Savage Chiara, that's good. Imagine being in a big wheel made out of wood and warp electricity, but apparently have the weight of the feather. That is, like, so strange that Doom Wheels just have no mass. But then Torox... I talked about it in my Warhammer 3 design video, but I really, really hope Warhammer 3 has much more intuitive design of lords and anything, honestly. Because there are so many times in this game where you look at something... We're talking about a Doom Wheel, so when he is a Doom Wheel. You look at a Doom Wheel, and you look at Torox, and you would think these things have comparable mass. They're about the same size. Torox is even a little thinner. He's the same height-ish of a Doom Wheel, but he's a little thinner. And you're like, these things should have similar mass. And Torox can walk through the Blackguard of Nagarond and hunt down my Marathi quicker than she can get through her own units. So he just wades through them like a puddle, and that would be fine. But then a Doom Wheel, something that you would assume is a giant chariot that rolls through infantry, gets stuck on anything. So it's like, what the hell? And a Dread Saurian versus a Jabber Scythe. Dread Saurian's even bigger, but a Jabber Scythe for some reason is way better at moving through stuff than the Dread Saurian is, because the Dread Saurian gets like stuck on things and it's janky. That one's not as much of a mass thing, it's more of a jank thing. But it's like, I love this game. I love this game. But stuff is not visually intuitive, it's memory. Like, you just have to memorize how everything does. You cannot pick up a unit, look at it, and say, this does this. And I really hope Game 3 changes that. Like, you can look at something and tell how it's going to go. Okay. I have killed enough time to get us through the load phase. So, for Berserk Labor, we have deck droppers yet again. It looks like a mix of handguns and pistols. Yep, 2 handguns, 2 pistols. We have, once again, Cold One Spear Riders mixed in with Cold One Riders. Double Gunnery White. We have the Vampire Fleet Admiral of Polearms with Vampires. We had some Depth Guard with Polearms. Wait, were those here last time and I didn't notice they were Depth Guard, not Chaff? Maybe. Then we have a Zombie Pirate Deckhand mobs, some mortars. It looks like this guy really likes his mortars. Berserk is a big mortars fan. We have another front line of Saurus with Red Crest Skinks. We have 1 Solar Engine this time. Gorok again. Doubling down on Gorok. Are you sure about that? He got insta-killed last time by mother frickin' Imric, and you're bringing him again. You're bringing my boy Gorok. Decimus Liberius, you are a man of principle, and I salute you for that, but I disagree strongly with the principles you chose to die on the hill of. Please stop taking Gorok. Don't do it. At least take my boy Krokgar. Take Oxyotl. I hate him, but you'd have a much better chance of winning. Please stop taking Gorok. He's trash. He's a trash character. Anyway, we also have a Skink Priest of Beast with Manticore Summon. Is that the whole army? Is there anything I missed? Again with the Sartosa Free Company Militia. And oh boy, this is going to get hairy, so I better cast quick. We have 3 Scurvy Dogs all in the Vanguard. Vanguarding with Centaurs with Throwing Axes. More Centaurs with Throwing Axes. Harpies. Gore Herds, including the Blackhorns Ravagers in Vanguard. More Centaurs with Throwing Axes in the Vanguard right next to other things. It's going to be a big old Vanguard brawl. Gotta go fast, gotta go fast. Slayers from tanks. Looks like Longbeards mixed in with Dwarf Warriors. Yes, it's great. We have Felix Thoric. He took Thoric Ironbrow! Alright, now you know Tank wants to win. He's winning to win it. Felix Thoric Ironbrow, Master Engineer. Looks like we have a bunch of Quarrelers, or are they Rangers? Quarrelers it is. Torx Express Bull, Wilds Caster, and Butchers of Calgon Guard. We got through everything. We have a couple Centaurs. Looks like 1 in the mass Vanguard position, but yet this is going to get spooky real quick. Big spooks. The big spooks. I don't know. We're going to hit start, and this is just going to get weird. There's units inside of each other. This will probably go better for the Vampire Coast because they're unbreakable. And they have support. So, Centaurs caught immediately. Do the dogs get attack orders to start killing these Centaurs? It looks like they do, which is very good. And also this Sartosa Militia is inside the Centaurs with Throwing Axes. That is a huge loss for Tank and Swarv, taking a ton of damage. Looks like some healing coming in for the Scurvy Dogs, chasing off the Throwing Axes, doing good work. The Throwing Axes on the other side need to move, but Swarv's Micro is definitely consumed in this clusterfuck that happened at the very beginning of the game. And the edge of the map is right there. If the Centaurs can be herded this direction rather than that direction, that is good, and it looks like that is going to happen. Big start for the side of Berserk Labor. Now Slayers have joined the fray, and they're going to cut through these Scurvy Dogs super easily. You can see one is already disintegrating away and shattering, and the other one is charging into the fight as well. Maybe thinking you can rear charge that Dwarf Infantry unit, maybe not realizing it's Slayers, because every Dwarf Infantry just has a frickin' axe above it, so you can't tell what something is from the symbol. Swarv and Tank have rallied, and they got their shit back together. They now have some Centaurs with Throwing Axes throwing at this Solar Engine. That is going to be a good little pick. You have Slayer support running up, but Cold One Riders are going to charge in here. I still think this will be a good trade for the blue forces, so that flank is going very well for them. This disaster is just about wrapped up. It looks like the red team got what they were going to get out of this area, and they're now moving forward. Balance power still slightly favors blue, but with Beastmen on your team, balance power doesn't mean a whole lot. These Slayers have suffered horrifically. They're pretty much dead. Mortars are going to start teeing off on these Quarrelers, and actually getting some really nice hits for Mortars. Mortars are usually quite jank. Saurus and Unbreakable Skinks are going to hold forever on the sidelines, while it looks like Mortars should be turned to start supporting them pretty soon. It looks like the battle plan was to secure one flank, push over with that, and all these Free Company Militia. The big thing about them is they can fire while moving, so it looks like Berserk and... damn it, what is the other guy's name? I always forget it. Decimus. I'm just going to call him Decimus. Decimus wanted to win something in melee so then they could start chasing the Beastmen and shooting at them while they run. That is a big point for the militia. Saurus Warriors are currently getting bodied, though. And while they are kind of tanky lads and they do good work, you can only be so tanky, you know? You can only be so tanky. Torox has caught the Bastillon with the Solar Engine. He's making it regret ever being born, or spawned, or whatever the hell the Lizardmen do. And Cold One Spear Riders are actually taking out their day on him, which is pretty good. Centaurs with Throwing Axes have done great damage to the other Cold One Riders. It looks like they're just trying to avoid Slayers over there. They're buying time. Bounce power shifted decently into the favor of the Vampire Coast, once again, considering how bad it was for them at the start. But a good Trader can cast from Swarv hits 2 deck gunner units, and, deck droppers. They're not going to enjoy that. This Manticore is despawning, and then it rampages and just goes somewhere else. Why is Rampage so weird? You think it would just attack the nearest target, but instead it just goes into the sky, thinks about attacking him again, and then dies. Thank you, Rampage. Thank you for your service, you weird mechanic. Anyway. Enough of that. Double Gunnery White is trying to poke down Thoric Ironbrow from distance, and it looks like it is working. He has actually taken a good amount of damage. Clawstone Hunters are diving in here as well, trying to get some damage in. One thing that is a little scary for the Vampire Coast is the lack of units between here and here. If the Beastmen bust through here, which it looks like they are, these mortars are fresh fish, just ready to be taken out by any fast-moving unit that the Beastmen could have. Now, there are no Centaurs over here, which is good, but they're somewhere. They're out there, lurking. Is this another Trader Kin, or what was that? It looks like it got canceled. Clawstone Hunters are in here fighting. Quarrelers have been routed. Thoric Ironbrow's taking a lot of damage, and he's got to fight next to Felix for quite a while to heal up. Meanwhile, Gorok is trying to fight Torox, but thankfully for Gorok, he can beat Torox 1v1, right? Right, he said, as he knew Torox bodies Gorok. Why take Gorok? He's so bad! Anyway, I'm not mad. Harpies are trying to shut down the mortars. Those are undead mortars, though, supported by bat handguns, which is a thing in this game. So they should get out of there okay. Second Manticore summon came out. I heard it. It's probably one of these millions of rampaging things. No, it's over here. And more mortars are going in. It looks like they're shooting at Felix, but they're doing more friendly fire than good, so maybe be careful about that. Balance power is still dead even. Tank and Swarv have rallied a lot of units, and their hero core, as always, is very strong. Now, Longbeards have reached the mortars, and that is the problem I was talking about, is that there was no defensive units between the mortars and threats. Longbeards are easily going to chew through both of these mortar teams, so they are unlimited time. I would prefer if these deck droppers got a lot more aggressive on single entity targets. Like, there's not a lot of ranged pressure around here, just some Quarrelers that actually don't do that much damage to deck droppers. Move them up much closer and start shooting at Thoric, start shooting at Torox. You've got to take them out, because Tank and Swarv are, in a lot of these 2v2s I've spectated of them, rely heavily on their single entity squad. And taking out all their chaff, as we saw Blood Penguin do pretty well last game with Paragon. Yeah, they took out all the chaff. They did great on that. And then the end of the game was just like 6 really strong single entities at full health, killing the rest of your army. You got to watch out for that. Now, this is great. The Summoned Manticore, plus the Vampire Fleet Admiral of Polearms, who has good anti-large, is fighting Torox, doing excellent, excellent damage to him. The Pawhawk Sentinels looks like they were supporting, but now they're out of ammunition. They should just dive onto these Quarrelers, just distract for a little bit. And now Torox is starting to body this Polearm caster without the Manticore nearby to help, but he does have healing for himself. He's doing okay against Torox. If the Gunnery Whites are shooting and supporting, that is very good. Gorok's off here for some reason, taking a vacation when his people need him, and the red team's falling a little bit behind in the balance of power again, but I think that's disingenuous, because if Torox dies here, maybe the Beastman armies just collapse, but Torox gets away with almost no health, and now Thoric is alone with the Vampire Fleet Admiral of Polearms, and that is no good. Gorok is going to run up, and he will beat Felix. All right, I can shit on Gorok all day, but he will beat Felix. I will admit that. Torox is now routing. There's nothing nearby to really chase him. The deck droppers, again, are doing great work. These guys, both games we've seen this duo use the deck droppers. They've been used quite effectively, and they now are overhead, shooting down, it looks like Thoric, and that is a great target. Just ignore, I like this, ignore the Quarrelers. I know it's counterintuitive, but recently, look at all those arrows that miss. Arrows just don't do it. All right, they just don't do the damage. 100% use your ammo on Thoric much more effectively than the Quarrelers. Now, going point-blank range with Quarrelers might be a mistake, as they'll actually start to hit you then. But I do prefer just ignoring the Quarrelers, tanking the damage as you have to, and getting the damage on priority targets. It looks like now the deck droppers are going to be pulled back to bail out the Gunnery Whites. Also not a bad choice. I wonder if these Gunneries they have Scab Scrates, so if they're not on cooldown, or coming off cooldown soon, they'll get big value on these Gore Herds nearby. Gorok is still fighting Felix, beating him up a little bit, and Felix is actually close to breaking. But Torox is back in, and he gets a big charge on the Vampire Fleet Admiral of Polearms. Can he be taken out? It looks like no. The Vampire Fleet Admiral is going to have a tough time getting any response onto him. But Torox is going to break for the second time, and if he breaks one more time, he will shatter, but it looks like he's getting shot, so he might just die. Over here, the Gunnery White's getting very, very low as some Slayers have joined the party with the Blackhorns Ravagers, and this is the end of this Gunnery White. Maybe if he can throw out one last Scab Scrape, he can potentially save himself, but that is probably the end of him. Your Vampire caster is so low, the only casting he should do at all is healing on himself, but he needs to get away from Thoric to do it, otherwise the Overcast is going to finish him off. And it looks like Crumbling might just do that on its own. Torox probably died, it looks like. Do you have the Lord is dead? Damage sustained. No, Torox is alive somewhere. Master Engineer uses one last Fire Ring of Thori to try and clear out some stuff, and the Dwarves slash Beastmen are pulling ahead on the balance of power yet again. Torox is dead. I can see his flaming axes there. But the Vampire Fleet Admiral also disintegrated away. Yikes, it's getting close. Now, Gorok thankfully has incredible leadership. Vampire units also strangely have decent leadership. And Quarrelers are shooting at Gorok. Not doing a ton of damage, but doing enough. There are Cold One Spear Rider Cavalry that can cycle charge and do okay there. How are we doing overall on the battlefield? Time to look around. We have a Beastcaster who's used both of his Manticores, so he is essentially just a single entity piss-poor combatant. He has literally no other spells. We have some Pterodons. We have some Haggard Sartosa militia units who are firing in. We still have Gunbats. We have one Gunnery Wight who is crumbling, but maybe you can get one more restock off onto these Gunbats that'll carry the entire game. So Gunbats are going to have to support Gorok, who is now still alive, but they're very far behind on the balance of power. Felix is still alive. You can see his healing cap and Thorax healing cap, and actually, yeah, with all these Longbeard and stuff, it might just be GG. Weren't quite able to take out Felix, and I'm surprised Gorok could fight Felix for so long and just not kill him. It's a damn shame. Gunnery Wight has finished crumbling away, and without him, these deck droppers are just going to run out of ammo too quickly. That is going to be GG. But what a GG it was. What a GG it was. Gorok, second only to... I honestly think Nakai is better. I 100% think Nakai is a better lord than Gorok. Because at least Nakai has mass. At least Nakai has an AoE Perfect Vigor blob that he can form with like single entities. Gorok just literally sucks. He brings nothing, in my opinion. Nakai is at least good for cheese builds. Army losses is coming in for Berserk Labor. And they gave it a hell of a go. Okay, a little bit more talk about Doom Wheels. Doing fine. Boop boop. Magnesium, single pierce, rims, because they break the Higgs field, and NOS. And then Venge is trying to defend Gorok, which I will not accept that kind of talk in this chat. You will be permanently banned if you try to say nice things about Gorok in this chat. Do you hear me, Venge? Do you hear me, sir? You have been warmed. Warmed. Yes, you've been warmed. All right, Slayers for tank. Overall doing quite well. His Quarrelers also doing decently, except for that one that died horrifically somewhere. And his Hero Corps did fine. We covered tanks, so we might as well cover Swarv next. Torox, 2,200 value, pretty good. Brave Shaman Wilds, honestly not getting that much, but there wasn't a whole lot for him to do. Gore Herds did all right, especially Blackron's Ravagers did really well. Centaurs for Swarv did okay. Harpies did okay. One of them did great. One of them did very poorly. So on the average, they did all right. Good for them. And Butcher's Calgon Guard did okay. For Decimus, Gorok got 1,100 value. Beastcaster cast 2 Manticores, did pretty well. Cavalry really struggled to get some value, which is a little surprising, but I guess there wasn't a lot of things they could kill, I suppose. They can't catch Centaurs, so. Pterodons struggled to get their value. Clostodon Hunters have been fucking killing it, though. For Berserk, Polearms boy, 700 value. Would have thought he did more against Torox. Both Gunnery Wights did fine. Depth Guard with Polearms did great. Sartosha Militia actually did pretty well too. Scurvy Dogs did really well. Deck Droppers did pretty well. A little less than I would have thought, but still overall well. And Mortars did okay. So the Vampire Coast really bringing the pain. Unfortunately, the Lizardmen. I think the Lizardmen were played well. I just think a lot of their units didn't have anything to do. Like, I think Decimus played them fine. I didn't see a lot of things that I was like, oh, why aren't you doing this? But it was just like, why do you have Gorok? Why is he here? Yeah. Alrighty, GG, well played. So, I'm being pinged. What's going on? Who is pinging me? Oh, okay. It's not important to this right now, so what's going on? Queden messaged me. We do, in fact, have... The map should be Shimmer Sword. Map is Shimmer Sword. And the blind picks for each party are Bretonia and Chaos versus Vampire Counts and Beastmen. Brett Chaos versus VCBM. Though I see you already picked it. I will give them their point, and then I will check back in on chat yet again. Stank going up 1-0. But in this second battle, not so sure. We've seen Bretonnia struggle a lot. Bretonnia does not like to fight Beastmen. The Vampire Counts matchup is even. Chaos traditionally is countered by Vampire Counts, but recently a lot of players have been beating my ass with it. So if Swarv... but Swarv can't... Ooh, that's the tricky part, is Swarv can't take like just the anti-Vampire Counts build because it would get wrecked by Beastmen, and he has to support his Bretonnian. So I'm going to say Chaos also has a hard time into Vampire Counts, but they do fine into Beastmen. I don't know, though. I don't know, because Chaos's normal advantage in this is to take a whole bunch of skirmish, but Bretonnia can't really support that playstyle. The only way they could support it is bringing Heavy Cav to protect them, but you're just going to get Traitorkind or Blood Knighted to death. And Centaurs are fast as hell, so they might catch your skirmish Cav. So I don't know. I like the VC Beastmen here. And that last game was so close that clearly Berserk and Decimus aren't outclassed skill-wise. So I would expect us to go to Game 3. I like what I saw out of these two. This map or no? This is it. Correct. Sorry. The map, our challenge link is in English and then they're dealing with it in Russian, so he did get the right map, though. Torok's running from Big Lizard Gorak. Weird loop for the rest of the game until it sounded like a car alarm. Wait, there was a time where the Manticore summon had a glitch and it would just go off constantly? That's very silly. If Felix beat Gorak 1v1, that would be hilarious, but also sad. That's because you missed Gorak beating the pants off Torox and you gave the credit to the polearm captain for the damage done. I don't think Gorak did that, judging by his damage value. Isabel healing for Torox will win the game outright. We'll see if they bring it, but that would probably be good. Okay. So I got that thing. I do have to message Bob, man. Okay, dokie. I do have to go to the bathroom, and they're still working on their build, so I'll be right back. Be right back. Just calm down. Beer beat. Bathroom's indisposed at the moment, so I gotta waste time with Hazel.
Puppy, come here! Oh, come here, puppy! Yeah, hello! Hello, puppy! Yes, we love you! Yes, we do! Yes, we do! Oh, puppy, no! A puppy, no!
Everybody look at this pup. Look at this puppy.
Look at puppy! Hi! Hi, puppy! Yeah! Yes, you're so good! Yes, you're so good! Puppy dog! Puppy dog. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Yes. Yes, good pup. Hazel. Hazel. No, calm down. Spin. Good spin. Good spin for the lady. Shake. Good shake. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Oh, so good. Such a good lady. Oh.
We love Hazel in this house. We love Hazel in this house. Whoop. Alright, gotta shrink the camera back to regular size.
Ah! I'm under attack!
Hi, Hazel. Hazel's a lady, Herbert. She's a wonderful lady. Yes, I will go to the bathroom soon. We only have one bathroom and it's currently indisposed. Aww. I'm a good boy. And my toes are getting licked. That's gross. Thanks, Hazel.
Oh! Who is this? Why are you so cute? Why? It's illegal to be this cute. You need a permit, Missy. You need a permit to be this cute.
She's adorable, though. The most Hazel that ever Basil. Well, Hazel's a good pup. Builds are getting finished up. Tank's build's done. Swarv's working on it. Those are the two I can see because I'm not the host, so I can't go to the other team.
What? Are you having fun with Mom? Are you having fun with Mom? You want to go for a walk after the stream? Walk after the stream for the lady? Walk for the lady! Come here! Oh, come here! Yeah! We're gonna go for a walk later. It's gonna be so fun! It's gonna be so fun! Yeah! Wow! Wowzers!
God, we love this pup.
Such a good pup.
Okay.
Hi. Hi.
Up, up.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Yeah!
Oh. There's a guy. He's the son of the mountain, like ogre something. Shit, I should remember his name. Son of the Mountain is an ogre clan on my Discord. Has a fucking pet raccoon that he posts a ton of pictures about. Am I breaking the rules on limits? I can't see your army. Can you send pic on Discord? Like a screenshot. I hope it comes to tie games. They've been good so far. They have been good, dude. Doomsage's cat used defensive curl because she's rounded in circles. Yeah. So look at these little raccoon pictures. Oh, that's a kitty from Tretch. Oh, that's from F&G. What are the raccoons? There. Look at all these friggin' raccoons. It's so cute. This is the cutest thing. So if you're not in my Discord, join this Discord and go to the Being Fucking Annoying About Pets and post your pets here. Come on, we need more pets, not just raccoons. We have to combat their dominance of this server. Anyway, I'll go back to Has the Scorecard so I can check Berserk's build. Dump. Seems fine. You're fine. Okay. Yeah, Berserk's build's fine. They had 7 single entities, is what they were worried about, but one of them I've been told by Queden last time we did this, and I haven't heard anything different, is that Mortis Engine is exempt. So it's fine. Yeah, as long as you're fine with being on camera briefly. Can you entertain the stream while I go to the bathroom?
What?
Can you entertain the stream while I go to the bathroom?
No.
Just tell them about your life. Bubs! Bubs!
I'm not serious, you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Bye, everyone.
Okie dokie. We're
back. No more shenanigans. No more tomfoolery. It is time for some heavy metal League of Legends content. That was Grace. She is my lady friend. Yes. Okay, so Swarv Tank, also known as Stank, has 1 point. If they win this game on their Chaos and Bretonia, that will be it for today. Otherwise, Berserk Labor needs to mount a comeback, which I am all for because these games have been popping. Pibbity pop popping. You have chickens that are freeloading. They aren't giving you any eggs. I kind of want chickens. I've heard they're pseudo-friendly. Kiyoki. Hazel got tall, quick, and bipedal. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that was Grace. It was a different person. Hey, Silas, what up, dude? Just put the headphones on the puppy. Hazel would be great at casting this, though she would get distracted a lot. What's going on? Yes, I know I said okie dokie a bunch. I'm sorry. It's my default. I'm working on it. I'm in a mood today. Neither of these armies... Okay, we're casting this army first. I just saw it. What the fuck, Double Giant? Swarv is bringing Double Giant, chosen with halberds, Chaos Warrior spam with halberds and great weapons, along with a couple, then some Chaos Marauders. And Archaon the Ever-Chosen, Burning Head and Flaming Sword. Double Giant! Double Giant! At least we know both teams want this to go to Game 3, because this is a throw. This is the fattest throw I've seen in my entire life. They don't want to win. They don't want to win. The Bretonians, Knights of the Realm, a whole bunch of peasants, Companions of Quinel's, Knights of the Realm, some peasant bowmen, and some men-at-arms to back it up. We do have Fey Enchantress, a Grail Relique, the Holy Wardens of Paladins, and the Green Knight. This is the chattest army that's going to lose that I've ever seen. On the other side, Beastmen and Vampire Counts. Okay, I guess it is Beastmen Vampire Counts. Maybe the Double Giant will do some stuff, but we'll see. We have the Grog Hooves, we have more Throwing Axes, we have some Ungor Spearmen, dogs galore, including the Dire Pack from the Vampire Counts. We have some Centaurs and more Throwing Axes. The 4 Throwing Axes is going to be a big problem for that Double Giant blob. Other than that, we have Vargheists, we have Crypt Ghouls, we do have a Mortis Engine, the Claw of Nagash, we have a Bestigor Herd ROR, we have some Blood Knights, Skeleton Spearmen, a basic Corpse Cart, Torx Brass Bull, Gorebull, Banshee, Isabella von Karstein with her healing Blood Chalice for Torox, we have a Vargulf, and a bunch of zombies. I heavily favor the Vampire Counts Beastman build, but I admire Swarv Tank's sheer commitment to Chattery. Two Giants is pretty standard in Warriors of Chaos versus Vampire Counts. That's fair, but these Vampire Counts have Throwing Axes. These Vampire Counts have motherfucking Torox and a Gorebull. This ain't no average Vampire Count. Also, Hazel scratched up my arm, so now I have a scratchy scratch arm. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. I have mixed feeling about Star Wars Episode 1. I watched it when I was a kid, and I liked it. And then I got older, and I liked 2 and 3 way more than 1. But there are some really good memes from 1. So it's hard. It's... Especially, like, saying, now this is pod racing. I think Bob Tresh is the first person that said that to me, and now I'm just addicted to it. Vampire Counts and Beastmen going to reorganize their forces, figure out what's going on. I'm sure they weren't ready to see a Double Giant like this, so they're just taking a second and really thinking about it. But the big problem I'm going to see here is there's no skirmish cav that Chaos brought to the party. So it's all going to be on the Peasant Archers to take out these Throwing Axes. Big fight here from the Knights of the Realm. They are winning against the Chaos Warhounds of the Beastmen, but they're also fighting some Centaurs, and they are taking a bunch of damage now that they're... charges weren't off. Where's the Wilds caster? He needs to throw in Traderkin right here. Just take out all these companions of Quinel's. That would be so juicy. Please cast it. Please cast it if you haven't already cast it. Over here, the Knights of the Realms are getting ganged up on by all these Centaurs. They are losing now quite sufficiently after they lost their charge bonus. Where is the Traderkin? You need it so bad. The blob fight has already started. The Banshee does do magic damage, but so does the Green Knight. So these two kind of both want to kill each other, and they also want to avoid each other at all costs. There is Flaming Sword of Ruin. No Traderkin still. Please cast it over there. There's so many Knights. There's so many Knights. Get the Traderkin out. Did you not bring it? Oh, okay, well, if he didn't bring it, then I don't know, but he really needs to cast it over there. Regardless, the Double Giant are in. Archaon... Wait, that's the Fanchantress. Fanchantress is in, but Torox is beating the absolute shit out of her. Claw of Nagash is heading over that way. Otherwise, Beastmen and Zombies are all engaging the Bretonnians. The Bretonnians are using their archers to poke some of the throwing axes. Those are good targets. Isabella von Karstein's hanging out above, and I don't know where the Traderkin caster even is. He's up there. He has it. I see it. He must have cast it somewhere else, because there's no way he's taking this long to cast it on this blob. There are so many cav here. Meanwhile, Vargeists have dove into the fight. They're not having a good time. Brassbody is popped on Torox, and he even gets the Blood Chalice of Bathorai, healing him up. He is running away from the Double Giant at this point. It looks like the blob fight has gone to Chaos and Bretonnia. Now, everywhere else, a lot of Bretonnian archers are about to get taken out by various Centaurs, dogs, spearmen. This entire flank is just going to collapse on that side. A good Burning Head cast from Chaos is trying to take out some of the chaff in here, but it looks like there wasn't honestly a whole lot. There's more Chaos Warriors and Chosen and shit that you're just going to win the fight anyway. A newly full health Torox the Brass Bull charges back in. We can see the Giants are now falling apart under the collective weight. And the Fanchantress is routed. That is a big catch for Berserk. And the Blood Knights even shatter her off. You can take the time and heal these guys while they chase off a bunch of stuff. Just let them stay out here. Let them stay healing away from the Chosen. A ton of collapse coming over here as Chaos Marauders and Peasant Bowmen alike are all just getting routed off. This is very, very good for Berserk Labor. A great start for them. One of the Giants is already routing. Something just disintegrated there, but it's not the Banshee, it's not Torox, so who really cares? Mortis Engine is draining down the Chaos Warriors and Chosen with halberds. And these throwing axes that I talked about earlier, look at them go. They're just here able to fire. They've killed an entire giant, and now the Green Knight is going to go try and deal with them. But Isabella's going to get a rear attack on him. She will have to be careful. She doesn't do magic damage, so she won't do that much to the Green Knight. If he turns around, he can kind of body her ass. But blue team is falling very behind very quickly, and the Chaos Warriors and Halberds are even going to tear her out off. Companions of Quinel's are coming back, but the Centaurs with throwing axes are just going to charge them in melee for all they care. And the second giant is also down due to the collective pressure of Korok's Man Rappers, all this stuff, but also the throwing axes. Uncontested are going to get great value this game, I imagine. Where are those Blood Knights? I don't see them in the backfield where I expected them. I'm worried they were sacrificed somewhere, which would be a bit of a mistake. But at this point, the vampire counts are so far ahead, I don't think it matters. Nope, they're the Blood Knights. They're fine. They're chilling. Last Giant has routed. Paladin has routed. Torox. Wait, Archaon, the Everchosen, still here, and he loses the Torox in 1v1 combat anyway, much less 1v1,000,000 with Korok's Man Rippers here as well. I think that is going to be a quick game for Berserk Labor, and they're going to pull it back. You people think I don't know what I'm talking about, saying Double Giant's not going to do shit, and you're all like, Giant's going to be great. Well, I showed you, and by I mean Berserk Labor showed you, but I can take credit for their work. GG, well played. We are going to game 3. I'm calling it right now. There is no possible way Chaos wins this. If they do, I'm uninstalling this game. I won't cast Warhammer 3. I will delete my YouTube channel. It is big over. Bada bing, bada boom. Silas, you're my new favorite person. You're my new favorite person. Fuck the haters. You're great. But we got to get through these values, but I'm coming back for that. Coming back for that. Okay, who messaged me? High Elves should place... Okay, sorry. I just got distracted by comments. So, Fanchantress. 1,200 value. She wasn't long for this world. Green Knight didn't get this value back either. All the Bretonnian infantry got murdered. Just murdered. These guys got 76 value. Oof. I mean, they had plenty of health, so I don't know where they were, but they did not get their stuff done. They probably fought zombies all game, honestly, is what happened. Knights, mixed value, but overall not good for poor tank. It looks like they either got Traderkin. Well, what's his value? No, they didn't get Traderkin. So they must have just gotten Throwing Axe down or something. Swarv, Archaon, 2,400 value, pretty good. Chaos Warriors really struggling. Chosen really struggling. Giants. One paid for himself. One did not. For Decimus, we have Torox with 2,100 value after getting healed up. Gorbel and Wildscaster honestly didn't do that much. Korok's Manrippers did great. And Centaurs with Throwing Axes show me the values. Not as good as I would have thought, but I guess they're still very healthy. But still, I did okay. Dogs actually did really well. For Berserk, Isabella, good value considering she was mostly a healing caster. Banshee got really good value. Holy crap. That's great for a Banshee. Normally, they just kind of stick around, but she must have been doing good work. Blood Knights, 3,000 from Berserk. Very well played. Vargeist did well. And Mortis Engine also did okay. I mean, it's still healthy. Is the comeback real? Is it real? We will find out. I need to block her up. Okay, so I need to check Queden and just make sure everybody's on the right factions. We should have Empire and Warriors of Chaos versus Vampire Counts and Tomb Kings. Map is correct. Let's do this! Very exciting. Tank is on his main. The Vampire Counts. Bada bing, bada boom. I'll catch up with chat in a second, but just to talk about these matchups. We all know there's a build phase coming, so I'll have time to catch up with chat. Tomb King's Vampire Counts is one of the most dreaded 2v2s on paper. Everybody talks about it. It's supposedly really good. Now, if I'm being honest, I've seen it lose a lot more than I've seen it win. But the idea is that the Tomb King's roster is not balanced around healing. The Tomb King's roster is balanced about not having Invocation to Heck. And in a 2v2, all of a sudden they are still undead, so you can Invocation to Heck their units. I think you should be able to. Yes, you can. So you could like Invocation to Heck your Shopty Greatbow. You can heal up Cetra on his War Sphinx, which he normally doesn't have a lot of healing. So the idea is to like super buff the Tomb King's roster, and then you have undead with ranged. Is the idea. Again, I haven't seen it work a ton, but I'm going to believe the community at large because it's talked about so much that I'm going to just trust them that that's correct. On the other side, Empire and Chaos. It's solid. Like, I don't know of any known synergies between them, but I could just see it being good. Maybe an Empire, maybe a pike and shot build with the Empire having the shot and Chaos having one hell of a pike. Don't know. Cannons are usually pretty good against Tomb Kings here because you'll shoot their Ushabti Greatbow to dust. Pistoliers are okay, but we'll see what they bring. All right, chat, what are you up to, you stinkers? So the two, you're surprised Nonga Raiders, I agree. If it's okay if you don't watch it or acknowledge it exists. I personally so Scylla's spitting facts. The prequels I liked more than the original trilogy, and you can sue me, all right? Everybody being like, the original trilogy's so perfect, so good, it's perfect media, and when I watch them back, they're fine. They're fine. But it is a little bit of like, and I know this is rectified later, but in the movies it's like, Darth Vader's the biggest badass in the whole galaxy. He's so great, he's so perfect. And then he's kind of like janky and weird and doesn't do like a whole lot of like super badass things. He's just slow. And Luke is supposedly super good, but all he does is get his ass kicked all the time. I don't know. And it's like, they're fine. They're fine. But I think the prequels were underrated, man. They were good. Clone Wars was fucking hype. It was so good. Movie 3 was incredible. General Grievous alone made the third movie perfect because I love that character. And the CGI was so good. The fight choreography was great. It was all great. Movie 1, not my favorite. Not a lot of people's favorite, but it was also fine. I don't know, man. People shit on the prequels all the time. I did not like movie 7. I did not watch 8 and 9. 7 turned me off so much. And I could go on a rant about 7, but here's all you need to know about me as a person and why I wouldn't like 7 through 9. The economics of the new Death Star make no sense. The Star Killer base thing, the thing that can kill multiple planets at once. It makes no sense. The 2 Death Stars the Empire built, and one of them wasn't even finished, almost bankrupted the known galaxy. The empire that controlled the known galaxy almost went bankrupt constructing 2 things. But you want to tell me some neo-Nazis on a moon can build a bigger one? Where'd they get the money from? Also, this thing's within eyesight. They didn't move it. They didn't move the Starkiller base. It was being constructed in view of the New Republic planets. In view of them. They could get a telescope and go, hey, that looks like a Death Star. Let's leave it alone. And then the weird part is that the rebels are still rebels. Didn't they win? Are they rebelling against the New Republic? Or what the how are you still rebels? What is happening? It made no sense. The 7th movie sucked. It just was New Hope Part 2. They were kind of trying to cash in on nostalgia. It was shit. I hated it. Fight me. It was shit. Anyway. Doom says they retroactively decanonized the entire expanded universe, including Knights of the Old Republic. That's lame, dude. Knights of the Old Republic was so good. Kreia was good. I didn't ever finish the 2nd game, but I played a good amount of it. I played the first Knights of the Old Republic a lot. Chris Avlon fanboy, so everything he writes is auto best in my eyes. 2 and 3 are okay, 3 less so, but 1 was never made. What 1 was never made? Sorry. Doomsage, I lost the plot on 2 and 3 are okay. What you're talking about? My bad. Okay. Catching up. How old are you, Queden? You turned 29 today? Hell yeah, Queden. I'm turning 28 in March. Problem with the Tomb King's 2v2 theories, assuming CA have balanced any of this intentionally. Gotcha. I'm not a fan of Star Wars. Geese Howard. Fair. Are you a Star Trek boy or just nothing? So, you use something so big to fall apart. I'm currently watching Star Wars The Clone Wars with my girlfriend. She didn't know Star Wars before. I've heard The Clone Wars is good, but I haven't watched it yet. Grievous is your favorite character from the movies, prequels. Also just getting infinitely better if someone decides to read a book or few. Sequels can rot with Disney. Yeah. You watched 7 and 8 but never watched 9 because you wasn't that interested. Plus, I don't want to give Disney any money. Dude, Disney Plus has so many things I want to watch, but I just don't want to buy another streaming service, dude. That's the biggest thing. I have Hulu. Grace is Netflix. Between the two of us, we have Hulu and Netflix. And I'll watch stuff that's on there. I'll maybe get some Crunchyroll stuff if there's an anime I really want to watch, and I'll cancel my subscription later. But I can't. There's Paramount Plus. There's whatever NBC's doing, like Peacock or some shit. There's Disney Plus. There's all these streaming services, and I just can't. I can't keep up. Even trying to catch up on the Avengers. I just wanted to watch Avengers 1 and 2, and I was like, hey, I never saw the Doctor Strange movie. I never saw the new Spider-Mans. I never saw. Where's that stuff? Oh, this is on Amazon Prime Video, but this is over on Disney Plus. Well, this is on Sony TV and all this crap. So even the Marvel universe is split up between 3 friggin' streaming platforms. Can't watch any of that shit. I don't know, man. It's so frustrating. Streaming, at the start of streaming, when it was just Netflix, and then it was kind of Netflix and Hulu, it was supposed to be the death of cable because cable was too cumbersome to use and streaming was so easy. But now with it all over, it's well, you managed to take a good idea and made it worse somehow, so great. Great. Focusing on stuff. We have Sterling's Revenge for Berserker, Marcus Wolfhart, some Knights of the Blazing Sun. They are very good against Tomb Kings usually. We have the Silver Bullets as well, Bright Wizard, I already mentioned Marcus Wolfhart. We do have the Royal Altar of Griffites, Warrior Priest. We have a nice little triangle box around the Hellstorm Rocket Battery, Spearmen. Wait for me before you start. I'm saying that because I want to know where this ends up. Because right now it's too close to the white line, so I want to see if they move it. I don't want to make a stink about it, but if it's currently going to sit here, it has to move up. Okay. Chaos Warriors, Chaos Marauders. So as we were talking about in the lobby, it looks like Chaos is going to be the front line here for the Empire's shooty shoots. We have Archaon the Everchosen. We have 5 Chaos Skirmish Cav, 2 Manticores. Oh, and Chaos Chariot. For the other side, the Tomb Kings are bringing 4 big old chariots. We have some Skeleton Spearmen. We have 2 Sharp to Great Bows, one of which is the Chosen of the Gods. They have Scattershot, Cetra the Imperishable, the Sphinx of Usef, more Skeleton Spearmen. For the Vampire Counts, we have Graveguard with great weapons, some zombies, some Blood Knights. Just 1 Blood Knight? Really? Tank's usually a big Blood Knight guy. There we go, 2. 2 Blood Knights. We have Isabella von Karstein in the sky. Yes, we do. Double Vargulf and a Corpse Cart with Balefire. Not Unholy Lodestone. Okay. It looks like they're mostly set up. I do need to warn the red side about that being way too close to the white line. Okay, he's moving up. He's moving up. Iron Sand Desert is tiny deployment zones, so you got to give him you got to give him leeway, but he moved way up from where he used to be, so I'll give him that. Okay, deployments are fine. No. Good to go. Because, I mean, he has space between where he could deploy, because he used to be, like, back here. And he's moved up a little bit. Sure, the white line's there, but also the front of your formation's right there. So it's like, what are you going to do? It's Iron Sand Desert, baby. They're boring films and aren't even consistent in their own universe. Fair. Yes, yes. Alex Bach is back. Bach, I'm going to try to get my chat on board for Age of Mythology stream with Yumi and the Boar King, and I'm sure we're going to do great, and they're not just going to make fun of how shit we are at the game. Star Wars The Clone Wars is so good. You have to go through the first 3 seasons because they're childish. They're meant to be kids, but then they get more intense. Yeah. He carried that movie. Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is incredible. He's definitely the best character in all those movies. Why does he have to move the Hellstorm up? Because there's a rule about how close you can be to the white line, so that... I talked about it in a video, and while they advance, I'll get this out real quick. You need to have space to be able to flank someone, because this artificial white line that's right here, your units can't go past it, but if you look visually... Obviously, your opponent could just walk over here if this imaginary white line wasn't here. So you need to play the battle in a way that you're not abusing the magical white barrier and make your opponent's army do dumb shit. Because if you have infantry all the way up to here, your cavalry have to plow straight into them, which is a dumb thing to do, but they physically can't leave the white line to go around like they should. So that's why you need to leave them space to flank. Chaos is moving up a little bit. Hugging this white line a little close, but now they're going to pull away from it. It's hard. Again, it's a small map, so you really need to be like, is the intention to cheat? And it doesn't look like it is. So we'll see. Also, they're undead, which is beneficial because then they don't route off the map and die. They don't route at all because they're undead. So it looks like the red team's doing their best. Okay, where's that fireball going from Archie? Is it going at the Ushabti? Why? I don't like that cast. Don't do that. Cast it on Cetra or Isabella or the Vargulf season even. They're not going to do enough to there. Isabella hugging the white line really hard and trying to come up. What is she doing here? I'm very confused what Tank's plan is. I guess he's setting down a zombie summon, but there's 2 Manticores here, my friend. They're going to chase you around. Silver Bullets, they were stalked. Actually, Sterling's Revenge, but both Silver Bullets and Sterling's Revenge are stalked. So I guess she couldn't see him, but still. It's so ballsy for so little reward, in my opinion. Zombies are going to chase down the Silver Bullets, but, like, Wolfheart has a net. So if you get too close, you could get netted above their army and have a bad time. Invocation to Heck on herself. Going to heal her up a little bit, and she is going to pull away. The Skirmish Cav for Swarv? No, Decimus. Okay, so that's Decimus and Berserk. Decimus, his Skirmish Cav's going a little too wide. I don't really know where they're going. They're going on a wild adventure, but it looks like that doesn't matter too much. Warriors of Chaos are still moving up a little bit. And Chosen of the Gods are now firing in, getting good damage on the Sterling's Revenge when they can see them. These zombies do allow them to see them, so they can fire in. The problem with the Sunmaker is its ammunition. You can see it's already at about half, and it really hasn't done terribly great damage, especially to an undead faction that can just heal and resurrect models. And it looks like Berserk's going to actually pull the Hellstorm Rocket Battery off of its mounts and just try to start dodging some of the Chosen of the Gods fire. Because Chosen of the Gods have a very similar problem to that Hellblast. You can see they're already down to half ammunition. Meanwhile, the Tomb Kings are just chilling. I think they should get aggressive. When your enemy has 5 skirmish cav and you have none, and they have the Sunmaker, and they have the Silver Bullets and Free Company, and they have Marcus Wolfheart, they're way out shooting you. I don't think it is wise to let them. Yeah. Because right now, if you play defensive, that means your bet is that the Ushapti Great Bows are going to outduel all 5 skirmish cav and the stuff we just mentioned, which I just don't think is accurate. Yeah. Because this is a mistake I make all the time against Wood Elves, is I try to dodge triple Waywatcher shots until they're out of ammo, and like, every time I do it, I realize I should have just charged them. Like, literally every time I do it, I'm like, fuck, I should have just charged them. Invocation to Heck onto the Ushapti Great Bow. Part of what makes this pairing so good is going to heal them up, and if it even heal caps any model, it'll actually start to resurrect the dead Ushapti models. Silver Bullets and Free Company's militias are moving up. Want to start trading with the Ushapti that have extended so far ahead, but it looks like the big single entity core from the Tomb Kings and Vampire Counts is going to move up and just be a little bit protectionary. Slow start. I'm very curious what the undead plan is here, because they're kind of letting their opponents run the show. Yeah, no corner camping. Isabella apparently from Compton. Drive-by instincts. Who's messaging me on Discord? Is the Chaos Lord Sartorial? Because if so, that's a rule break. They have 3 SEMs. No, it's Archaon. It's Archaon. They're fine. But thanks, Queden. Always looking out. Chosen the Gods still dueling. They're honestly going to hit their heal cap pretty soon, and Marcus is still sniping them off. I don't like it. Swarven Tank, get more aggressive. Most of your funds is in aggression. Why are you taking the defensive play? Please, go fight. This just looks like chess right now. It is a little bit, but I don't like trading a bishop for chaff. Archaon's going to run away, and nothing can really catch him. And if you try to catch him, Sterling's Revenge and the Silver Bullets might just tee off onto you. In fact, Isabella's probably going to take a parting shot for her efforts. And she already healed herself a little bit, so her healing cap is actually going to start appearing right about now. It's not worth it. Stop playing defensive. Go! Fight them! You're losing this now! Nice dodge on the fireball, though, from Tank. Good shit there. I know I've talked about it a lot, but I just, like, I can't wrap my head around what's going on in their voice comms right now between Swarv and Tank. Like, gotta get in there. These skirmish cabs still have tons of ammunition. Your Ushapti are down to half ammo and almost out of ammo and almost out of health. The Hellstorm Rocket Battery, Berserk has been playing very well around dismounting and dodging with this thing. I'm super impressed. When I first saw it happening, I'm like, that's kind of neat. But now seeing the end result, it's been so good. Marcus Wolfheart getting a beautiful net onto the Vargulfs. It looks like Silver Bullets and Sterling's Revenge are going to go up and tee off on them. Now, as I've shown in numerous videos recently, Vargulfs are bugged as shit, and most of your bullets will go straight through their bodies. And now a Manticore is even going to block some of the volleys. But damage is still damage, and the Vargulfs look like they lost attack orders there for a little bit. These Manticores are going to kill them. Now, there are Blood Knights nearby that could wrap up these Manticores and super easily kill them. The only problem is that Hellstorm Rocket Battery is waiting for a clump to appear, and it'll just nuke it down. Now, great play here from Swarv on the Chariot, suddenly getting aggressive, and this is what I wanted all game. Look at the shock damage on those Chariots, taking out Sterling's Revenge almost, instantly killing a Chaos Marauder, also piling into more Chaos Marauders with great weapons, going to rout them off too. This is the aggression we wanted to see from the Tomb Kings. Another great side charge is going to come in from the Chariots, but they will get attacked by Knights of the Blazing Sun, and this is where the Chosen of the Gods and the Ushapti Great Bows will support a fire. They are nuking down these Blazing Suns, and a big burning head comes in from Archaon, who's trying to bail himself out, but he's currently surrounded by single entities. And what started off so well in the skirmish phase for the Empire and Chaos has gotten kind of disastrous very quickly. As Archaon gets wrapped up, he's probably gonna die, and Chariots are wreaking havoc on the Empire lines. Now, that being said, Royal Ultra Griffites and some Heavy Cav have plowed in. I think they took out one Chariot, and the other also just disintegrated away, but they got plenty of good damage on their way out. Getting some text from something, so we'll figure out what that is later. Double Manticores out fighting. The Manticores have bailed Archie out, or is he dead? losing currently. Okay, I think Archie made it out somewhere. There he is. So yes, he did live. He's down to like 1/3 health though. Meanwhile, Cetra's bodying some warrior priests. Both manticores are about to be killed, but the Hellstorm rocket battery is getting its sweet, sweet vengeance on these blobs. Blood Knights are very injured. They'll need to back up and heal for a little bit. And oh, the zombies and Great Guard are so far behind the Cav Rush. It looks like a little bit of mixed execution here from the undead, just charging in one at a time, unfortunately. Their infantry support is now arriving, but the Blood Knights have taken a lot of damage. Their single entities have taken a lot of damage. And of course, we mentioned the Chosen of the Gods. Earlier, they are now about to die, though they are out of ammo, so who cares? Big who cares. Can the Vampires and Tomb Kings rally and win this shit anyway? I think Berserk and Decimus have been playing a little bit better. So we'll see if they can keep that up. Because the mixed engagement is just a mistake. The undead are currently ahead on the balance of power, though, as they're just exerting their will over the battlefield. Now, healing caps are being approached by certain units like Isabella. That could be a problem. Wolfheart's running out of ammunition. Could be another issue, but Knights of the Blazing Sun and Skirmish Cav are going to get good shots onto these Vargulfs, maybe actually finish them off. That would be pretty huge. And these Skirmish Cavs from Decimus, they got to be firing a lot more. I don't know how they have full ammo at this point in the game, but they need to get it out and get it out now. Wolfheart threw another net down, but it doesn't look like there was any pressure to really follow it up. And, oh, this is nice. Sterling's Revenge and the Silver Bullets. What is left of them is teeing off onto the Sphinx of Usef, doing great damage over there. Decimus and Berserk really fighting back into this game after the charge of the undead really caught them off guard and did massive damage immediately. Royal Outdoor Gryphites are fighting in a whole bunch of chaff. They don't love that, but there's not a whole lot of other places they can go. Cetra's going to charge sideways down the line, knocking the Silver Bullets all over the place, and he is going to rout them pretty quickly, while the Sterling's Revenge are going to pull away just slightly. Marcus Wolfheart's fighting in melee along with his Warrior Priest on the Sphinx of Usef, and it looks like the Skirmish Cav is now starting to wreak its deadly toll, but will it be enough, and will there be enough time? There's not a whole lot left to keep things fighting. Chaos Warriors and the Royal Dwarf Griffiths are fighting side by side, but there's no healing on the Empire. They brought a Bright Wizard. So that health is the health those Royal Dwarf Griffites are going to get. Sphinx of Usef is crumbling and at very low health, though maybe with some Vampire Counts healing and a little bit of healing from the passive of Cetra, it can stay in this fight. Cetra himself is also at half health. Chaos really needs to abuse its skirmish at this point, but I don't know if they have enough ammo to kill everything. And I think Tank and Swarv are going to probably pull it out. Nice Burning Head coming in from Archaon. He's going to kill a bunch of zombies and skeleton spearmen, but I don't know if that'll be enough, as he does bail out some of the Chaos Warriors with halberds. Nukes a little bit of Empire infantry on the way out, but he takes out like 4 undead units. That's pretty good. Sphinx Usef fighting, crumbling to its last against Marcus Wolfheart, and it will also die. Skirmish Cav going away, but there's still a full health Graveguard unit. I mean, the Vargulfs are regenning up, plus some healing from Isabella wherever she is. She's in the sky. She's netted, but there's nothing to follow up on her. Bounce power is bad for the Empire, but I think it's about to get a whole lot worse the longer this game goes. Oof, and Blood Knights. I don't think the Skirmish Cav can kill those Blood Knights. And they're kind of cornering themselves. We can see the white lines of the map are right here. They have nowhere to go. If Swarv takes this chariot, brings it in from this side. Give me my arrow. Brings it in from this side. We get some more Blood Knights and cut them off at the pass. That'll be pretty good. And once these Skirmish Cav die, you'll see that balance of power just fade away to nothing, because all their power is in these ammo bars. Vargul's terror routing an almost full health Marauder Horseman. Will they rally before the edge of the map, or are they actually just going to terror route right off the field? Alright, that is an entire Marauder Horseman dead to a terror route. Sucks to suck, but deploying this close to the edge when you're a non-undead faction does have repercussions, it would seem. Bright Wizard getting killed by Cetra, who is healing capped. Chaos Warriors with halberds fighting at the very end, and this Sphinx of Usef is somehow still alive. So is Marcus Wolfheart. There's a lot of things over here that shouldn't be alive, but are. Knights of the Blazing Sun going to get a charge on it, though, causing it to crumble once again at such low health that it will... That Sphinx of Usef has got to die. There we go, it died. And then the Empire has army losses. Just to prove a point. Please check for 2 times Fireball. Okay, that's a good point. I forgot that it looks like Berserk and Warriors of Chaos both had fireballs, but they lost anyway, so it's okay. I mean, it's not okay, it's a rule break, but the side who rule broke doesn't, they didn't win, so what's the point of replaying if they lost? Right. Cav would be mobility scooters. They're playing the hard to get dating sim strat. Yes, you can dodge fireball if you... We talked about it earlier in the stream, but if you like hard juke right, have it follow you, and then at the last second go left, you can really... Yeah. Geese Howard, we do have duplicate fireballs. Isabella got 0 value. She never landed on the ground, apparently. Zombies got killed. Graveguard did okay. Blood Knights did okay. Vargulfs did okay. I'm imagining Suave's going to have a lot of the value. 2,300 on Cetra. Chariots all got pretty good value. 900 value on that Skeleton Spearman. Ushapti both did fine. Tsung did great. Marcus Wolfheart, 2,600 value. Bright Wizard, almost 1,000. Spearman, mixed values, but overall pretty good. Sterling's Revenge and Handgunner's good. Knights of Blazing Sun, fine. Demigryph Knight's fine. Hellstorm Rocket Battery, actually pretty good. Decimus, 2,600 on Archaon. Mixed on the infantry, but mostly not great. And then Skirmish Cav had a lot of ammo left and didn't get to use them. So yeah, GG. GG, well played. Double fireball, but didn't matter. FYI for next time. Only one spell. Yeah, the double fireball didn't matter. Queden messaging me during the game, trying to tell me about the fireballs, but I was too busy shouting at what was going on. Congratulations, Tank and Swarv. And it was a darn good series, my friends. Have a nice day. Kidaki. Good job, everybody. Good job out there. Y'all did great. And I really liked Berserk and Decimus. I have not seen either of these players. I've seen them in this tournament before, like in the bracket, but I never spectated their games. I really like them. They're good. They're good players. Next weekend, Queden is hosting another one of these things, I believe. I don't remember who is casting it. I am unfortunately indisposed, but if you like 2v2 in tournaments, join his Discord. It is in the description, and you will find out whoever the hell he is supposed to be having host that thing here. If you want more Total War content, I am spamming a link in the chat. Tell Logic I sent you so he knows that I give a shit about him. He is currently hosting a Bronze through Silver playoff series. It has Tids Demonin and someone else in it I just saw, but go watch that. Go support that. Say hi. I'll be over there briefly before I gotta get going. And thanks for hanging out today. It was a good time. Later.